Hello, welcome to the late night open mic. The link has been put in the chat and sent out to a few people as well. This is your live, this is your chance to come on and have your say about any topics going on at the moment. My only topic for tonight, Alan, welcome. Sorry,
Hello,
missed
Mike.
that bit.
Hello.
I
Hello,
need
all.
I need to take off. I've got the. This is what happens when you do back-to-back lives. Let's turn this off. There we go. Yeah, my only topic was they're talking about boots on the ground in both regions now. Apparently, Gaza's confirmed, and it's going to be like some sort of two-star general going over there with a small contingent of people, and they're not going to go in the actual strip, but they're going to be in Israel. And then obviously the peacekeeping force, if a peace agreement's made in Ukraine. Think it's a bad idea when we're so underfunded and under military at the moment that we should be sending troops to all these different places, Alan?
Yeah. Do you know, I was just reading the thing about the Gaza thing. It's called the Civil Military Coordinates Center. That's what it's been named on
It's
the
called what?
newsfeed. The Civil Military Coordinates Center, or CMCC, which is the small contingents of British military planning officers along with US-led task force and a sustainable effort in Gaza.
How many buzzwords can we put in there so it doesn't sound too militaristic?
Yeah, I mean, what they really mean is they've got a few sort of intelligence guys and some special forces and some people who know how to actually launch things and some tactical type people, But do you know, I'm unconvinced by Britain's ability under our current government to be able to sustain anything meaningful in the world when it comes to this kind of stuff. And it pains me to say that, it really does, because I'm a very, very patriotic person. I love the idea of Britain sort of having a big influence in the world, and because we've got a lot to contribute. It's not just about military sort of might. It's about the way that we conduct ourselves in the world. Our vision of the world. Britain is generally a force for good in the world, I believe. So any influence we have and theatres of conflict, I think, is a good thing. Our current government, however, are bloody morons, and I actually think they're anti-British. So I think it's going to be difficult to give the people who are overseas the support that they need to be able to make a real contribution in the world. And we've already seen that with the way that we've literally taken the wrong side in Gaza, in my opinion. We've gifted the terrorists credibility by gifting them a state.
Yeah, he came in like just before this peace agreement had got over the line, decided to announce that we recognise the state. That feels like political suicide.
So dumb. I mean, what was the point of it as well? Because literally just 2 or 3 weeks later, we end up having the ceasefire that everybody's apparently been calling for anyway. And where are all the left-wing Greta Thunbergs and all this who were saying ceasefire now? Why aren't they celebrating now? Why aren't they on the street saying, finally, we get a ceasefire, now let's progress to some sort of lasting peace? Why have they suddenly turned their attention to bloody no King's marches in the United States all of a sudden? Because they never cared about it in the first place, that's why.
The first day that peace agreement was done, they still had a protest go on in Manchester against the war in Gaza.
Yeah, because it was never
already planned, so we can't change it now.
Yeah, the fact is, it was never about Gaza. It was never about the people of Palestine. It was never about hurting the suffering that's going on in the world. It was anti-Jewish. It was anti-Western. It was anti-colonialism as they see it. It was Marxist pure propaganda. That's all that was. And I've seen them for what they are. I'm not an overly political person, although it kind of sounds like I am. I'm not like joined to any political party or anything, but I believe that there's a right side of history and there's a wrong side of history, and all those people are on the wrong side of history, or they're just retarded and they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
History's written by the victors, right? So we hope they're on the wrong side of history. But I mean, why? Tell me why them same people are not protesting the war in Ukraine. There's still kids that are being affected. There's still civilians that are being affected. Why is that not a protest?
Yeah, exactly. The reason they're not protesting it is because it doesn't fit the demographic that they require to be against. What they're ultimately against, it's an anti-Western thing, really. I mean, so you can lump anti-Jewishness in there as well. But as far as they're concerned, Israel is a Western country in the Middle East, an occupier. They think Jewish people, they think Israeli people are white occupiers colonizing Israel. And so in their mind, they're European white people, and they've went there and they've colonized it, and the poor downtrodden people of Gaza were overtaken. None of that's true in the real world, none of it at all, but it fits the narrative. They're not going to protest the war in Ukraine because, well, Russians and Ukrainians are white, so it doesn't fit the narrative.
They don't know which side to be on, right?
They don't know. They haven't got a
This worries me. Paul Thomas said all UK reservists on exercise first time in 40 years, and because I've just had my letter of like an offer of joining because I've applied. All the details I've sent to them they're happy with, so it's a case of going from a medical now. So I could be on that list soon as well. So why would we need all the reservists on exercise though if it's just a small contingent of intelligence people? Is this the tip of the spear? Do you think there's going to be more to follow?
Do you know what? Hopefully what we're seeing is just the posturing of the entire world sort of reorganizing itself. So we've got the Trump effect. So Trump's came in and he's reshuffled everything around and he's ruffled the feathers of the world order. And because he's turning all of his attention to what's going on in the Far East with China, and it's left a bit of a vacuum in Europe, the Europeans are starting to shit themselves and they're starting to get themselves together and they're realizing we need to do something against the Russian sort of threat, as it were. And that's why you're seeing all these sort of increase in defense contracts, and you're seeing UK troops getting put on the borders and joint forces taking place and more things happening in the news and all this kind of stuff. But do you know, I had this really horrible thought the other day. I was listening to a history podcast, and it was basically about how the United States became the power it is today. And, to cut a very long podcast short, it's generally because literally Europe destroyed itself in the Second World War, which gave the United States an avenue, because it was relatively untouched, to basically loan all of its money to rebuild Europe. It was part of the construction effort going on there. It re-established itself or established itself rather as a power in the European theatre, as well as in the Far East with Japan and places like that. And it became, the world order. 70, 80 years later, all those loans are paid off. The world is starting to reorganize itself a bit. China's starting to rise. India's starting to rise. Russia kind of rised and then came down again, and then is in a sort of stalemate type place. Here's a horrible thought. The United States not only don't care about Europe, they actually want war in Europe. Because the complete destruction of Europe would put them right back to the position they were at the beginning of the Second World War, where they're the ones on top of the world again, because so Europe
not complete destruction, but like of the infrastructure and them as a power. You mean? I assume.
Well, not the complete destruction, so that there's none of us left, but somewhere along the lines of what we've seen during the Second World War, where the European theatre is devastated to the point where our economy is dependent on loans, which of course will be provided by the United States. Our intelligence services are, nowhere near as capable as they should be because they wouldn't have the funding, etc. And we wouldn't have a military infrastructure because we just spent all of it fighting with each other, which is basically what happened in the Second World War. Mm-hmm. Europe is a massive power in the world collectively. We've seen what Germany could do when it decided to take on the world just by itself. Now, it had no chance of winning after 1941 onwards, but imagine a Germany who was genuinely united with the rest of Europe. That would be a force to be reckoned with. Our economy is far greater than that of Russia. It's on a par with the United States, and we have the population and the resources. What has the United States got to benefit from that, really? When you think about it, and I'm very pro United States. I love America. I visit there all the time, but from their point of view, what do they gain out of that? Absolutely nothing whatsoever. What do they gain out of our completely weak, destroyed Europe and Russia because they've been fighting with each other? And they can then assert their influence, money, and power across the world and focus all of their attention on the new enemy, which will be China, which I don't think will actually be a real threat in the world anyway. So I mean, I don't think the United States is going to do anything to us, but I don't think they're going to come to our aid. Is what I'm getting at. I think they're I think they're far less reluctant to come to our aid than we probably believe, and I think some people in the European theatre are starting to realise this as well.
Yeah. Hello, Tom.
Hey, man.
Can you hear us? You're muted.
I can indeed now. I can hear you. I just thought I'd pop in after this. I can indeed. All good.
You're breaking up. We're not hearing what you're saying.
Hang on, I'll put on PC.
Right.
Terrible signal. That's
Yeah, I think he's going to try on the PC. We've got a lot of comments on this at the moment as well. Pete GB, Labour is losing a lot more support over the last year. What will happen if a change of leader maybe? If out the frying pan into the fire. I mean, can you imagine if Lammy takes over? Vietnam started with advisors. That's scary, isn't it? That's the same sort of thing they're talking about sending over there, right? Advisors, and that's how that started. The protesters in question are led by large Lenin useful idiots. Their worldview is based off ideas that fit on a bumper sticker. I like that. Pilgrim, imagine where we'd be if that woman won instead of Trump. Mike, why be cannon fodder for the elites in a conflict that's nothing to do with us? Yeah, I mean, my decision to join the reserves is still going to go ahead despite this. Genuinely, if it's at a point they're calling reserves compulsory to serve, a lot of reserves volunteer, yeah, because they get paid whatever salary they normally get in the reserves, and they get to go on tour and they get to go and do it. So they volunteer for these things. If it was compulsory, that is a hairline away from conscription. And if it came to conscription, being in the reserves, I'd have a head start. So it won't change my view on it. Albania is increasing conscriptions. Interesting. I think the UK is sleepwalking into something, and I think the wheels are already turning. Seems like MAGA vibes are spreading around the world. People are resisting. Well, it doesn't have to be MAGA vibes. We just realise our government's just shite at the moment. I think no matter what vibes were going on. Yeah. Interesting. Everyone seems to agree on the same sort of things, though, but that's an interesting point that advisors started Vietnam. Do you think... Are they going to advise how to now remove the Gaza Strip?
Do you know, I think advisors is just another word for influencers. That's what they're actually there to influence. They're not there to advise anybody. There's no way that the US and the UK are sending people to Israel because we want to advise them. Oh yeah, much better.
Much better. Like, lovely. I was just gonna jump in and say, after seeing all of that, I also wanted to just say, after seeing your members video last night on the cost of living crisis,
yep,
like, I have a take that you may not have seen. I saw this morning on a video. Apparently, they're now taking everyone that's self-employed down to a £10,000 limit before you have to apply for VAT. So you're saying about like 30.
Wasn't that 30? Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, it's gone from 30 down to 10 apparently, and I'm like, well, how's that going to help everybody? We're already, penny pinching. How is that going to help the world?
That's just going to kill off small business.
Yeah, it's going to kill small business. We're already like, and everyone's going. And you may have seen, I think it was a YouTuber, Black Belt Barrister, has now started covering your lovely subject, the digital ID. Don't we just love it?
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I've seen him. I'm going to try and get in touch with him and get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Apparently he's now apparently our lovely, I don't want to say Stalinist leader, but he's getting a bit dictatorish.
Comrade Starmer, yes, you can say what you want. It's fine. We're not monetized. This is why we don't monetize, because we can't control the public.
Yeah, no. Right. Now, apparently, if you don't take it, you can pay £85 every time you want to prove you are who you say you are. And I'm like, or I could just show my passport like I do everywhere else.
What they're saying, so it's like a fine, basically, if you can't produce the.
Yeah, if you don't use digital ID, he wants to bring in, according to Black Belt Barrister, like £85 every time you have to prove you are who you say you are. And I'm like, yeah, that's going to go down like a ton of bricks.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. What do you think of the? Do you think they're going to get this in, Alan? This digital ID? I still think there's too much protest on it. I can't see it. I think it's going to be one of those things that, like Sunak trying to get in conscription just before he was gone.
No,
it feels like that to me.
Not a hope in hell. I don't think they're going to be able to make a digital ID a mandatory thing. The problem is they're going to piggyback it on the back of other things. They've already did it. They've piggybacked it on the back of the veterans card. The veterans card was never about a digital ID, yet that's the thing. They've used the same mechanism to incorporate their digital ID onto that. Now, I seen the thing where Stammer was saying, well, it's never going to be absolutely mandatory. You can opt into it, etc. Yeah, well, that's rubbish, because what will happen is it'll be a case of, yeah, you can choose to have the digital ID or choose not to have it, but if you choose not to have it, you won't be able to bloody do anything. Just like, do you remember the vaccine passport, where it was like, you don't need to get vaccinated and have this passport, but you can't get a job, you can't travel, you can't move around, and that will just become more and more and more. They do everything by little bits, and then it gets to a point where, 2 or 3 years down the line, you realize there's literally no other way of getting through your day by not having it. And that's how they introduce something like this. And there's no proper justification for a digital ID, in my opinion. I just can't see it anywhere. I don't see why having a digital ID will give me personally anything different from my passport or driver's license or national insurance number. If
you were offering me an alternative, like, okay, we're going to give you the digital ID, now you don't have to pay 80 quid for your passport, now you don't have to pay 30 quid for your driving licence, so you're saving 110 quid there, and if you've got to make any changes to that, if they were giving an alternative like that, I'm still of the belief we're already in the system and stuff like that, so there's nothing we can do to stop it. I lost subscribers for that, by the way, because I said that in my last video. Obviously I resist, obviously I've signed the petitions, but there's only so much you can do. But yeah, it feels like there's no incentive for it. I feel like it's all stick and no carrot at this stage.
The thing is, you're in the system already by having things like a national insurance card, your driver's license, your passport, all this kind of stuff. But there's a key difference between that.
Showing your age, saying a card. They don't get cards anymore.
Oh, really? I've still got my card.
I've still got my national insurance card. Yeah. Literally, my son just got a letter.
Yeah,
and he lost that within a week.
Oh God!
Yeah, I got my card and memorized it. I even used it as my password for a long time. There's a random stupid thing to do. Anyway, the difference is none of that is centralized. Those are independent things for individual things. Okay, DVLA has access to your driver's license details, and you could argue that the government could probably get in there because that's a sort of branch of the DVLA, but it's not centralized. It's not a central intelligence network of one single number and mechanism for tracking you and doing whatever you can do. The more centralized you become, the more under the cosh you become from a state, the less freedom you have.
Do you not feel it's just opening that up to that? Because I have no doubts that the government can access DVLA records. As somebody who worked for a software company developing ANPR technology, which was all the traffic cameras and stuff like that, and the cameras in the police cars, we had access to DVLA records. We had to sign NDAs for it and stuff like that. And NDAs, not to mention people's records. I can mention that I used to work for it, but
the thing, I'm not of the illusion that the government, if they really wanted to, let's say you were a very high priority for some reason, the government wanted to know everything about you. There's ways and means that they could get access to you via DVLA, your passport, your national insurance number, your online footprint, all these kind of things. So you've got 100 different places where they can slowly but surely work their way in there. But the fact is, they have to do it piece by piece, and they would have to have legal jurisdictions in order to do each of those things independently. What they don't have is the ability, like with a single switch, to just say, do you know what, we can just do this immediately. Because that means they can turn it on, they can turn it off, they can do anything they want, they can debank you, they can remove you from the system, they can block you at an airport.
You got there before I did. I'm sitting there going, I was about to jump in and say, what Mike is saying is perfectly true. But again, yeah, at the moment, of course, you've got to have a legal reason to do it and a legal reason to look up my details.
Yeah.
If we go digital ID, what's stopping them just going, well, what's Sam doing today? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you're talking about laws that are only in place for public-facing things. Do you think MI5 need to have a legal reason to then look for your documents? They could just go and have a look wherever they want.
Yes, I can.
It's horses for courses. We're protected by this illusion that we have legal rights, and we might do in the public-facing eye. I just don't know how you resist it beyond signing a petition and doing what we're doing.
Well,
I will happily reject it for as long as possible. If they say, well, you've got to pay £85 every time you change your job, guess what? Looks like I'm not changing my job then. If you're not gonna let me travel if I don't have it, guess what? It looks like I'm not traveling, or I'm going on a boat and you won't know.
Well, we should have legal rights to each one of those things independently. I mean, it shouldn't be the case that MI5 can just do what the hell they want, and they can invade your privacy by checking out any number of things that they possibly can. If they genuinely believed that you were some sort of threat to national security, then yeah, there's legal mechanisms that they can go through to access various different things that they think might be appropriate, and they would have to go via a judge to do that. That's the legal way of doing it. But if they had just one place to go, that means there's no stumbling block. They can just immediately jump to that one thing. And we've already seen an abuse of this. We see the police abuse this every single day because they stop and search people and then they say it's under the terrorism act, whatever the hell they call it. They arrested Tommy Robinson. I'm not a fan of Tommy Robinson, but they arrested him under the Terrorism Act because he didn't provide his PIN code to his mobile phone. Even though he is technically a journalist and has sources on his phone.
Sources, it's protecting sensitive material. He'd interviewed people that have been victims of rape and stuff like that. I'm fully behind him. He had every right.
But you see it all the time. There's countless videos on YouTube of people being stopped by the police and quoted some sort of terrorism law. Under some terrorism act, we demand that you do this. Well, obviously that person's not a terrorist. You're just abusing a power and using a terrorism act in order to circumvent it. And by giving the authorities more power, the state more power of jurisdiction over one combined centralized network of information, that will be abused 100%. We know it will be.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And as a bounce back to that, if you saw in the Discord, would have been probably a week or two back, I put about the bomb scare near me.
Yep. Yes, you did, yeah.
I did, right? Well, I actually got speaking to the woman who was next door to the offending house, like the day before, and she literally watched as they were evacuating her, like the local bomb squad take away what looked like multiple improvised explosive devices, and they let the 19-year-old they arrested off with a firearms offence. Like, so they're stopping people for terrorism offences for bugger all, but then when somebody is potentially making explosives in their front room, he's let off with a firearms offence.
Because you're only a terrorist if you're against the government agenda, right?
Make it make sense. If you're gonna actually apply the terrorism law, please apply it effectively.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to pull a few comments so I don't get too far behind. Paul Thomas, why we all watch what's going on? What are they doing behind our backs? That's always the question with mainstream media as well, isn't it? Leanne Mack said they are trying to push this through the back door by implementing it to 13-year-olds through the Children's Wellbeing Bill. This is exactly the same way they brought in the national internet restriction thing, right? Which I can't believe that's disappeared off everyone's channels. Nobody's talking about that anymore. That's still a thing.
Yeah. And
I mean, we had like a tooth. I mean, it's great news for VPN companies. They made a fortune off it. Yeah. Because that's how you bypass it. You can download a VPN and that's how you bypass it. But it's the same way they try to bring that in as well. Well, as soon as you say it's to protect children, you're not against protecting children, are you? It's kind of that.
Yeah, if you say, but look at all the security implications. Well, you're against protecting children. We can't have that.
Exactly.
And it's the exact same. It's the exact same argument of if you have nothing to hide, then you've got nothing to fear from a digital ID. No bullshit. I fear your overreach and your corrupt state.
Yeah.
That's what I'm afraid of because I've seen it time and time again. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've already started talking about because my friend was actually up in London the other day, and he said they've started to bolt up in certain parts of London cameras eye level. And when he said to the bloke, well, they look a bit low for traffic cameras, he went, oh, we're trialing out facial recognition. And I'm like, well, welcome to China.
I mean, facial recognition, people recognition, it's old tech, which they're just implementing, and they're fine tuning it. Somebody did actually say, there we go, it was Rex apparatus. So we can blame you for the Dick Turpin machines on the M6, Mike. No, nothing to do with speed cameras. And do you know what? The UK budgets didn't stretch to it. So I dealt with South African police and the transit system in the United States. And we've got the technology now. Do you know how you have them gang of cameras that you see over the tops of motorways where they've got one on each lane? Yep. That's for maximum capture of like the number plates and stuff. We've got the technology to have a camera that's smaller than your webcam at the side of the road and get 99% captures, no matter what speed cars are going past. But it's expensive technology, so it didn't stretch to the UK budget. So.
Oh, no. You know, if we spent that, they might have to take a little less on their bonuses.
Yeah, well, all the police have a similar budget. So Yorkshire's the richest police force, technically, because they're so widespread. And they have the same sort of budget as they have in like Manchester, where there's loads of police needed, there's loads of tech needed and stuff like that. So if we did anything in the UK, which we did a few different trial runs in cars, it was always with the Yorkshire police, funnily enough.
Do you know, the government, they're just too stupid to implement this stuff properly. And there's two examples as to why this has happened that we've already mentioned here. Okay, first of all, you've got the so-called child safety verification thing, which what did that actually do? What was the actual consequence of that? The actual consequence of that is a massive uptake in VPNs, which means technically, if they were saying that it was all about sort of making people more visible and protecting children, well, they've did the opposite of that then, haven't they? Because now everybody's bloody anonymous.
Pushed you into hiding, yeah.
Yeah, they've pushed you into hiding. So what's the other example? Well, the one in, one out example of the illegal asylum seekers.
Didn't one come back the other day?
Exactly. So here's a great idea. We'll send you one illegal person, and you send us one person who is illegal, but they were sort of on the cusp of being legal anyway. Okay, that sounds like a good idea, although we've gained nothing. And then we send back the illegal, and he just immediately jumps in the boat and comes right back. So we've actually gained one. So we're actually now up one. And how many other people have done that? I guarantee you, every single person, I think there's been about 60 of them that we've sent back to France, got on a boat and immediately came right back. Yeah. So the French are the only people winning here because, like, okay, these morons are sending us, they're sending us somebody. We're sending them somebody who's a problem to us, and then the idiot they've sent to us is just going to jump back on a boat and come back anyway. This, to me, this is just the government's absolute inability to control any of this. The government are not all powerful; they're stupid, and they keep putting this stuff in place because they want ever more control and ever more oversight over us because they're Marxist, basically. But they can't control it because they're too stupid to be able to handle it. That's the problem. And that's why I don't want to give them any power or influence, because eventually somebody who actually knows how to do something properly will get into power, and they'll use all of this stuff against us. All of it.
Yeah.
You can guarantee it. You can guarantee
Definitely. Gatwick Scuba said, I was debanked by Barclays because I service cylinders used for filling air rifles. They admitted when challenged anti-hunting, if a bank can do it, think what damage the government could do. I got also bank accounts closed off Barclays because my original web design company was called Grenade Design. And because the name Grenade pulled up too many red flags for them, and they thought I was actually designing grenades, despite me showing them my entire business, they closed my bank account. So, yeah.
Oh.
Fun. That's the worry, though, right? I mean, I think people are concerned about digital ID for the freedoms and stuff like that, but I think if I'm reading the room correct me if I'm wrong, it's what it could lead to that's the biggest fear.
That
Decentralized,
would be, yeah,
decentralized digital currency, stuff like that.
yeah.
You
That
know, sorry, Alan, you can't buy that steak because you've had 90% of your beef allowance this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody put a picture up, didn't they? I don't know if it was on Discord or somewhere else, where it was the photo of the thing that says this is 10% of your carbon allowance on a sandwich or something like that.
yeah, that was on Discord.
This is the thing we've got to remember, that when it comes to governments and they take away tiny little pieces of freedom that you think individually don't mean anything, they're never giving you anything back. They're only ever taken.
Yeah.
And eventually you slowly but surely get into a point where you're under absolute control. And eventually somebody who is not a complete moron like Starmer will get into power. I don't care what political party it is. It could be the Conservatives, Reform, bloody whoever. It doesn't matter. But at some point, a leader who actually knows what he's doing, and he's a maniac, will know how to abuse all of the powers that we've slowly but surely surrendered.
Mm-hmm.
And they will be able to use it to do whatever the hell they want to do. We have to remember the state is not there to protect us. It never has been. It never has been across the entirety of the Western world. We may as well be cattle to the state. And I'm not anti-establishment. I'm just a realist when it comes to this. I'm very much for small state and small government and let people sort of be free and do as they will. I'm kind of libertarian in that sense.
You're not wrong.
You know, and the more we give them, the more they will take, and they will never give it back, ever. And we have to always resist these things, because slowly but surely they just take more and more and more. We've gone from a species of humans being able to run free in the woods and do whatever the hell we want to I can't go out my front door without, you know, thinking about what I'm saying to my neighbour in case he reports me for a bloody hate crime. You know, that's the reality.
And you can't run through them woods anymore. They're all protected.
Oh, yeah, of course not. Yeah.
Spot on, Alan. Ridiculous, says Marty Everton.
I can't argue with anything Alan said tonight so far. I mean,
yeah.
But then,
so far, he's going to give you a chance, Alan. He's going to find something.
I'll find something. There'll be something. Like the one thing about me is I equally annoy everybody eventually.
No. But I mean, like, one of my friends that put a comment down there over the digital ID, we were having this discussion over the immigration, and I said the biggest issue we've got, beyond the fact that Starmer is an absolute idiot, as Alan's already said, is the one in, one out thing. Like, we send them back to France. What's stopping them coming back on the boat? And then we kick them out, and then they get back on the boat. We need to, if they actually want to do something about it, you've got to have some sort of punishment. Like, you know, once we've got you in the system and we've kicked you out, what's stopping them coming back? Like, you know, we're supposedly paying France to stop them coming over here, and what are they doing?
It's madness. Why are we paying another country? I mean, so there's countries in the world that would kill to have our potential of border control.
Yeah.
We have an island nation. We have a link through a tunnel. That's sea and tunnel. That's it.
Yeah.
So there's countries that are landlocked that are struggling with immigration. I mean, look at the States building a wall the size of the top of Mexico. Not an easy feat.
No.
We've got an easy way to do it. We just refuse to. We're too scared. We don't want to stop the boat in case somebody falls off and drowns. And, you know, it's too touchy-feely.
We were having this discussion earlier where I said the biggest problem you've got at the moment is, because he's like, well, if they just keep coming over, if their boat breaks down in international water, why rescue them? And I'm like, because the problem is if you don't, you then start getting into humanitarian issues of, like, you know, well, did we leave them out there to drown? And it's like, it gets really awkward if I understand sort of, you know, maritime law correctly. Sort of, you know, we can't just leave them out at sea. Well,
do you know, there is a thing. I mean, this is where I kind of change tack a little bit, and this is where some people will probably immediately be against what I'm saying. Is that there is like you say, there is an argument there where we have some sort of level of responsibility to the people as human beings, and this is the problem. See, when I see people saying,
"Oh, love it,"
oh, that's a top end phone right there.
Oh,
never dies. The problem with the illegal, and by the way, it's not illegal. They're not asylum seekers. They're not seeking asylum. They're economic migrants. right? They're not here because they're fleeing war. They're fleeing France because they think they can get better healthcare and money from us. That's what they are. Okay, but I do take issue with people who say, well, we should just send the Royal Navy out to sort of stop them. What the hell does that mean? Are you going to shoot people in boats? Are you going to sink the boats and just watch them drown? Don't be ridiculous. We're not bloody sadists. You're on mute, Mike.
That's not good, is it? What if we do a minefield around the country, but make sure we put signs up saying, "Don't come, there's mines." Then it's on them.
That's what me and my friend were discussing earlier. Just sort of like, know, it's very easy to say, well, just let's just throw all the economic migrants on a boat that we know is going to sink once it gets through international waters. But then, as Alan's already pointed out, then you get into the humanitarian issues, and then we're no better than some of the people that we're complaining about, like Russia, like just killing for the sake of killing.
Well, I mean, you don't have to shoot them out the water to patrol. You just need to catch them in the act, right? And you need to have,
and just turn them around.
We need to have a border force. We can invest loads of money into the military because we need to, because Trump said we had to. We can do all these different things. Why don't we have a border force, a quick response crew that around the coast, different departments sort of thing, and when a boat's spotted, they're there to process them, right? To get them and process them. That's the problem, leaking through the system.
I tell you why, Mike, because when you say process them, what does that process them to where? If we can't send them back to France,
Gills, meat grinder, you pick.
if we can't send them back to France or the country of origin that they came from, there's literally nothing we can do but allow them to come in. Nothing at all. Because, think about it, right? Let's say I'm an economic migrant. I'm jumping on a boat and I see the Royal Navy ahead, and the policy is sink that boat or just stop that boat, intercept it. All I need to do is drive my rubber dinghy towards the Royal Navy and then scuttle my own boat. I literally tear a hole in my own raft and then I'm in the water, freezing cold. What are you going to do? Watch me drown? Or are you going to pick me up? They have to pick me up. What can I do? They can't send me back to France because the EU won't allow us to send migrants back to France. So they come back to the UK and then we process them. And because we've got bureaucracy out of our arse, it takes years and they just disappear into the system anyway. This is what happens.
But is it the appeal? Is that the problem though? If the word was getting back when they got to the UK, they were living on some unhospitable island off the coast in a camp in just bearable conditions. Keep them fed, keep them watered, stuff like that. But no phones, no 4-star hotels, no you can go and get a job at Uber Eats while this is all going on. Literally separate them from society in their own camp sort of thing. They're not going to want to come. They're coming here because of the appeal, right? We're selling it to them.
We don't even need to do that. Do you know what we need to do, which will solve this problem, right? If any politician is listening, I have the solution, right? Simply do what France does. That's it, right? If you're an economic migrant, right? You've came from some bloody country in Africa or the Middle East or somewhere, or Bulgaria or somewhere that's undesirable to you. You get to France, you look around and you think to yourself, how easy is it for me to get a job, medical care and education? Those are the 3 things I need, right? They look at how easy it is in France to get those 3 things. Then they look at how easy it is to get those 3 things in the UK. The UK is vastly easier. Simply make it hard, not even hard, just make it on a par with France. And then why would you ever bother risking your life traveling across the English Channel to get to the UK if you're just going to end up in a point that's identical to France? Don't get me wrong, I would flee France as well. I'm not a fan of France. To be honest. I would flee France to get to England as well.
French subscribers, the disclaimer across the bottom. This is nothing to do with me.
I am not sorry. You're a bunch of frogs. But ultimately,
cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
The only thing that's good is their weather and wine. That's everything else is terrible. But the point is, if you make France the UK rather as undesirable as France is to an economic migrant, he has no incentive to want to cross that channel because what would be the point?
Yeah, sort of make it at least so that they can't just walk in and be like, oh, I'll take the free healthcare, I'll take the benefits, I'll take this
Exactly.
and that. Yeah, just
Exactly.
make it just a little bit harder to make them go, do I really want to go
But
there? No.
ID cards do not help with this, because this is the argument that the government are trying to say. They're trying to say that an ID card somehow is the reason for them doing this, and that's not true, because not an ID card makes no difference to those three things.
What does an ID card do? The only thing the ID card's going to do is show how many times they've snuck back into the country after we've kicked them out.
Mr. T's got a point here. Have you seen France, Paris? It was beautiful, and now it's a dump. And yes, I can testament to that. I've been there in the good times and more recently as well.
I
And,
I haven't been to Paris since the early 2000s. It used to be beautiful.
But they've got the same sort of problem, sort of thing. I don't think it's exclusive to us. Evil Girl said drinking Alan is funny.
I did not expect to be on the internet today. That's why I've had far too many cans of beer. I was enjoying a Brian and Mike podcast, just minding my own business, and then I found myself on the internet.
That's it. It sounds like the speech he's gonna have to say to the judge, right?
Did you commit a hate crime towards France by calling them a frog? Yes, Your Honour, I did.
I'll defend the French here. At least they know how to stand up to their government properly when they need to. Just going to throw that out there.
That's true. That is true.
That's true. And the other question that came up with the digital ID is, like, being as previously stated as comments, I am disabled. I sadly, due to a very nasty work accident, can't work anymore. Do you think they're going to start pressuring people like myself that are on the permanent sick to be the first people to take the digital ID? Like, well, if you want your benefits so your rent gets paid,
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Like the old. I mean, I've not claimed anything for a long time. The only time I ever claimed job seekers was for about 2 months, and you had to go in with a book. Yep. Sit down, get it signed, say you've done this, then go each time. That's going to be the digital ID system. And if you didn't go and get your book signed, you never got your money. And they're going to do the same. So yeah, you're in for it first, I'm afraid. I think haven't they already done it with vets?
Yeah,
some veterans.
Yeah, I'm saying they've done that with the vet card, and I'm sitting there because I was sitting there watching like your take on the digital ID, and then sort of like the actual sort of like potential upcoming budget, and I'm sitting there going, because a few people, because even my sister was like when she moved out with her husband, they were like, I said to her, before you move out of mum's, do your math.
You think about you're talking about the edge case of, like you say, you're in a position where you can't work and you claim benefits, which is absolutely fine. Now, a lot of the population get a benefit already, even when they work, and that's child benefit. Now, if they're talking about, we'll lift the 2-child benefit cap so anyone can claim it and blah blah blah. Yeah. However,
you've got to get digital ID. And I'm just sitting there going, I'm just sitting there going, that's how they're going to screw us.
Yeah.
Because they're going to slip it in there. And it's just, and I was sitting there just going, I'm screwed. I don't want to admit it, but.
Yeah, no, it is unfortunately that is it. The only way to avoid it is if you're willing to go and live like King, whatever he was called, in the Scottish forest. I can't remember his name now, but if you want to go and live on the complete fringes of society, then However, I will be doing a podcast very soon with the person who has invented PrepCoin, which is a digital currency just for preppers. And Lee from the Bug Out Shoppers took this on board. Yes, so don't put all your eggs in one basket. There's options out there. It'll be a completely untraceable way of buying them things you don't want them to trace. So,
I did see PrepCoin when I was signing up for the his subscription box, and I'm like, tell me more.
Yeah. No, it's Lee's took it on board, and I'm going to do an interview with the guy who's launched it. So you looked skeptical as I was saying that there, Alan.
Yeah, well, it's absolutely not a pyramid scheme like every other credit card, every other. Yeah, of course it's not.
Oh, I do. Oh, I do love that take. It's a pyramid scheme.
It's not a
course it's
pyramid.
a
How's
bloody
it?
pyramid. Every single one of these digital crypto coins things is a pyramid
God.
scheme. It just so happens that 2 or 3 of them happen to be pretty big and they haven't collapsed yet, like Bitcoin. But hey, each to their own. If you want to invest your money into some sort of digital currency, then crack on.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, the pound is a digital currency anyway.
Can we not alienate my guest before I've got him on? Just throwing that.
Just my opinion. Just my opinion.
No. Well, and the other thing that really threw me with all the budget coming out was I was mentioning this to somebody the other day when my sister was getting ready to, because she was discussing how hard it is now that she lives on her own with her husband because her husband's out at work. And I said to her, out of curiosity, what do you pay in rent? Like, because she sort of lives on the sort of like right by the seafront on one of the Kent coasts. And she's like, I think we're paying about $1,500 a month for like 2-bed place.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, how bad can it be? Because I was watching your little video on the government, and I started looking around in my local area, and it's just gotten worse. It's literally, there were people asking £900 for a room without bills. And I'm like, how is that affordable? Like, on minimum wage, how is that affordable these days?
There's parts of where I used to live in Bolton.
Yep.
There's parts there where you could get a house for like £400 a month when I was there, right?
Yeah.
For 2 bedrooms, sometimes 3 bedroom.
Yeah.
The 3rd bedroom was usually a box. We all know the type. Them same houses now are between 12 and 1400 and sold as easy access to Manchester via train. And it's just the rental prices are going through the roof. If you managed to buy a house 10, 20 years ago, you did right.
I moved into the council place I'm sitting in, and like when the actual all the disability assessments went through, they were like, he's got to move. If we don't move him, he's going to become housebound. Like, because I can't do the 4 Victorian flights of stairs to get to my front door anymore.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there on a nice, comfortable £450 a month rent, and I thought to myself, well, that's lovely. The minute I moved out, landlord went, I'm going to ask £1,000 a month, and I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? Because it was about to go up to 625 when I moved out, and he immediately just went, no, 800 to 1,000.
Oh yeah, as soon as they change tenants, they can do whatever they want. It's only during tenancy where they've got to justify a percentage increase. So sometimes people give the notices and landlords rub their hands together. I mean, what was it? Was it the Homeless Secretary that got in trouble for this? For raising the price and making her family homeless? That's the other Labour scandal that was going on, wasn't it?
I could completely believe that. Yeah,
the housing crisis is a bubble. I mean, this is. I've always said that from an SHTF point of view, the economic impact that's about to happen because some sort of bubble is about to burst. That's the number one thing in my opinion. Sort of whether it be banking or housing. Banking and housing are both bubbles, and so is the debt crisis for European countries and North America. One of those bubbles is going to burst, and when it does, we're all going to feel it badly. Energy is another one, but that's a little bit further down the line. The housing market is unbelievable. I mean, I've managed to sort of sneak my way through it a little bit. I was lucky. The first house I got was a council house, and it only cost me £250 a month. And it was a 1-bedroom flat, and I bought that flat because I still had the right to buy. So I was lucky in that sense. But I wouldn't be able to do that now. And that was only 10 years ago. That was only 10 years ago or something. 2007, I think I did that. I wouldn't be able to do that now.
Yeah, they've taken that right away from everyone that's got council property now. Because when I moved in, I said,
is the right to buy gone now?
In Scotland,
it's gone in England as well. Like I moved in 2 years ago, and I said to them, like, is it still sort of like 5 years? And then if I can get a mortgage approval, can I buy the place? And they went, oh, we don't do that anymore. And I'm like, well, that makes me feel secure, doesn't it? Like, apparently they've taken that away in England as well. So, like, how true that is, I don't know. I only heard that from my housing officer, but apparently it doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't exist in Scotland because we live in Scotland. The Scottish executive or government, as they call themselves, are very, very against the notion of anybody owning anything. They're very much, we should own everything and you should live off the state, because they're nationalists, which are, you know,
Yeah, you got to be dependent on the nation, right?
they want you to be 100% dependent on them, and that was one of the first things that they abolished, was the right to buy.
Ampere says gonna need gold tokens to go John Wick shopping when eventually it all goes tits up. John Knox says, I think we will likely have a big crash correction soon. Nothing will be immune. They will probably call it the .ai crash.
I agree with John. That's what I think as well. I definitely see that on the horizon.
Because the problem is the rents are going up and up and up, and eventually the landlords are just going to find their properties unrentable, because people are just going to sit and go, we can't afford to pay that. So, my argument has always been, people going, but the rent's getting too high. And I'm like, yeah, it's because eventually somebody finds a way of paying the rent they want. If no one can afford to buy the rent,
because as a family man, I have to. Right,
you have to.
I've got to put a roof over my kids' heads, and whether that means me going working 60 hours a week, 2 jobs, side hustle galore, and the missus working just so we can make ends meet. I had a manager when I worked at a medical company. I was doing IT for them still, but my manager lived in an apartment, one of these church conversions in Manchester. And he was buzzing when he got this apartment. I was there when he got it. And he's like, oh, look at this. Look at the pictures. Look at this. After that, he couldn't go out for a drink. He couldn't come to any staff do's or anything like that. He was paying, and this was 7 or 8 years ago. He was paying nearly £1,500 a month in rent. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you have to pay what you have to pay to keep a roof over your head. You're totally right on that. If you've got a wife and kids, you've got to keep a roof. You've got to keep a roof over their head. But at some point, as Alan said, it's got to become unsustainable. It's got to burst at some point.
It already is.
Go, we can't afford to pay
it. It's already unsustainable. Do you know how you know that? Because food banks were like, what? One in a town? One every couple of towns? Yeah. Now there is so many of them, and there is so many people using them. And it's no longer become this, I don't want to be seen at a food bank. Everyone's doing it. And they don't mind saying it because everyone knows they're in the same sort. I know people are working full time, doing everything they can, but having to go to a food bank to make sure their kids are fed.
And do you not think the government welcome that, though? Do you not think the government would love the populace to be coming to them for their food ration every week? You know, of course they would.
Absolutely.
It's all part of the. There's no shortage of food. Okay, all there is a means there to exert a little bit of control over us by increasing the food prices to a point where we have to rely once again on the government. And you're not allowed to grow your own stuff, of course, because, there's no mechanism in place for you to do that. Can you buy land and just grow food sort of in feudal Britain the way we used to do it? Of course you can't, because there's all sorts of bureaucracy in place to make sure you can't do that.
Yeah, or there's too many people with chickens. Oh, look, we've got to confiscate them all, and bird flu, and
bird flu killed them all. In Ireland, they just killed half of their cows to meet a bloody climate change quota that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Wow, that's insane. Processing done at embassy in their country. Illegal entry is illegal. Clues in the name. Repel borders and maximum force. Sends a clear message to the next lot of deterrents. The only thing I tend to agree with you, Mr. T, but the only thing I would say is I've come over. I've no passport. Right? You say, where are you from? I don't know. Are you from this Middle Eastern country? If you don't know where I'm from, which embassy are you going to send me to? Yeah, that's the problem with that.
Yeah,
I mean that's why you see at the Mexican border in the United States there's literally graveyards full of passports, documents, and papers. Because one of the first things that they get told when they get trafficked is remove all of your identities whatsoever, because they won't know where you are. They can't send you back to Mexico if they are not 100% sure that you're actually Mexican. right? And it's the same with anywhere else. And it would be the same for me if I wanted to sneak my way into America for some reason and I crossed the Mexican border and I just pretended not to speak English, had no passport, had no identity, my fingerprint didn't register to anywhere. Where are they going to send me to? Can't send me to Mexico.
I've got a vision of the Mexican border being a pile of passports, a pile of sombreros, and a pile of ponchos. Now they will never know.
We just sneak right in here.
Right, sorry, like we've got all sorts of. I'm going to miss a lot of these comments. Sorry, guys, there's 100 odd of you in here. You might be onto something there, Gatwick Scoo, or that's a conversation between yourselves. You just talk amongst yourselves, guys. All right. If you fill a country with people and then need housing supply versus demand prices, empty out the 20 years of illegals and watch that housing market change. The right to buy still exists, but only applies to properties owned by the council, not social housing companies. Yeah, so not the social.
I was
housing
told it didn't
companies.
exist. That's handy to know, Scuba.
Probably a lot of them are social housing companies now, though, right? Because that passes the buck and
you saying about the food banks, like
there you go.
When I'll say yeah. Oh yeah. You're not wrong. They'll do it, but. Like literally, when the big C that we're not allowed to speak about on YouTube, like hit, like there was maybe
COVID. Say it.
Yeah, the just having a quick look online in Scotland, the right to buy was abolished in July 31st, 2016. So, I mean, I can't remember the exact date I bought my flat. I moved into it on 2006. I bought it a few years later, so I must have been among the last few that had that right to do it.
Yeah, you saying about like the food banks, like the local food bank that's probably 20-minute walk from my flat, like used to have maybe 5-10 people there. Now they've had to, and that was once a week. Now I think they now do it Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and there's literally a line
around the block,
around the block, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, if this doesn't tell you that, like, the way the world is going is not sustainable, and then people go, why have you started prepping? And it's like, because I don't want to end up standing in that queue. I'm not against it, but if I can build up a bit of resilience when I have got the cash to do so, like. Because you don't know how to roll.
I mean, prepping's not about not standing in the queue. You could prep and still stand in the queue for your daily things, right? I'm not saying anything like that, but prepping's for what happens when that queue doesn't exist for all them people queuing around that block.
Yeah.
Because all them people are going to be hungry and they're all going to be in your area.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing to worry about.
Or what happens when you end up inevitably with like every time they open, like only half the queue can actually get food parcels because there aren't enough donations.
Can't grow food in Scotland, no sun.
Oh no, that's not nice. Scotland's not that dull, is it?
I seen the turn up the other day. What are you talking about?
Wasn't allowed to pick it or eat it. It was the king's turnip. It's unsustainable for you, not the government, to keep borrowing more to rent them for newcomers. It's all part of the control mechanism, part of the UN Agenda 2030. It used to be a constant joke that, like, on people on benefits are better off than people working and stuff like that. But the problem you're going to have is if they do keep increasing allowances for housing, like housing benefit. I know it is a cut-off already, so people have to pay rent on top of it. But if they increase that at the rate of houses, they're the only ones that are going to be able to afford them. It's going to be that way. Or, guess what you're going to encourage? Shitload of benefit fraud.
Yeah, as if that isn't high enough already.
Yeah. There was a one-bed FFF. 2 minutes, what's that? First floor flat? I'm thinking. 2 minutes away from between a large halfway house and a Crown Court, asking $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I was saying the thing is, for the area of Kent that I'm in, like if you're, I think it's if you're under 25, like you're only entitled to the shared room rate.
Yeah.
So you're probably, I think it's something like £79 a week. But where the hell are you going to get somewhere for £79 a week? You're not.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like a financial expert, but one of the best pieces of advice I was ever given when it was sort of household budgets and things like that was the laws of thirds. You guys ever hear of this? Where it was, you should always, your aspiration should be that 1/3 of your income should go on like being able to live. So your rent, your energy, your council tax, things like that.
Yeah.
Another third should go on aspirations. So, you know, whatever it is you're into doing, you're spending it on yourself, holidays and family and all that kind of stuff. And another third should go on things like savings, pensions, and, you know, stuff for the future. But now you've got people spending more than 50% of their entire salary on rent that for a house they don't even own. And food inflation's out of control, you know, despite the fact that food is not in, you know, there's an abundance of food, yet the price of it keeps on exponentially getting larger and larger for some mad reason. You know, I don't, how can that be explained if it's not simply as a mechanism to control more people?
Not to mention the fact that that 400 gram loaf of bread is now 350 grams.
Yeah, that's shrinkflation. Yeah,
Shrinkflation. Yeah.
I got a Snickers bar out of a machine at work the other day. It cost me £1.05, and it was this big. I was bloody horrified.
I could believe it. And someone went, I think it was, I saw my except on the other day, and he went, how's everything got expensive? So expensive. I went, don't you know how it works? And he went, what? I went, you'll pay more for less, and you'll be happy about it.
Yeah, or they'll keep the prices the same. The best thing ever, the best scam ever is the shrinkflation thing, is to say, prices are rollback at Asda, or price lock at this supermarket, or frozen prices at this supermarket. The size of the product's gone down. The price has stayed the same. So it's gone up, but you just don't realise. Before we go any further, there's 104 people in here. I want to give somebody this, which is a Harrier multi-tool. They're quite cool.
Take it. I'll have it. They're excellent.
Excellent multi-tool.
And I want to give this away. And I couldn't think of a way to do this, like on a wheel or a hashtag or anything like that. Yep. So Alan had a great idea. I want it in all block capitals. Tell me why you should have it. And I'll send it to the best answer. So there we go.
Yeah, honestly, they're an excellent multi-tool. First mystery box I got from Lee at the bug out shop actually had that multi-tool in it, and it is excellent. It's a brilliant multi-tool.
There you go. Good review right there. So anybody needs a multi-tool or has a good reason to have it, please let me know. And if I pick you, you can send me your address and I'll post that out to somebody. We just want to start giving. Just need to start giving stuff away. What else do you want? What else have I got? Who wants a Nokia?
Oh God, I remember those. I'm old enough to remember those launching, and I'm like,
you can have this Nokia, but it comes with 2 kids that you have to feed and water and educate. I'm just throwing them in. Because I'm Hackins, that is not a good reason. That's not a good reason. Because I don't have one. It is a good reason. I'm going to star all these and we're going to go through them. Because I'm hard as spook. Oh, this has started something now. You can't even try to save wages so low that people need UC to top up. Then if you manage to save 6,000, you lose the support, so you'll no longer be able to save a house deposit. Yeah, you've got, I mean, if you can...
I'm not even sure, Leanne, if it's 6,000 anymore. I think last time I had to go through all these sort of PIP and UC forms, I think it's now, do you have savings of 5,000 or more? I think they may have slashed it by £1,000. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, you can't save, because if you save too much, the government goes, oh, well, you've now got a nest egg. You don't need our support.
Just diversify that nest egg. If it's metal and it's in your mattress, they ain't gonna take it off your benefits. All right. So there we go. I don't think that's a reason to have it. chopping me sausage. um, because Miss Worm had made me do homework all night for zone meetup points. It's a good one. It's a good one, Polonium. It's definitely good. Because I'm evil and enjoying causing havoc. 10p a ticket, money for charity. No, I was thinking of that, but I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to get money for this. This is why I just want to give it away with funny answers. I didn't want to put it out there. That's a good reason. That's me too as well, Rachel. So because I'm skint is a really good reason.
Yeah,
I
know that feeling, Rachel. Trust me.
I'll pull up the wheel just in case, and if we've got several that I think are good, we'll stick you on a wheel. How's that? John Knox says Blair is behind the digital ID. He pushed ID cards originally and has been mentoring Starmer for years. Do you think he'll get it in time, Alan? Because he's surely on borrowed time, Starmer. Even if it's not the 3 years leadership, surely he's going to be challenged soon enough.
I mean, Labour have always, it wasn't just Blair, it was just Labour in general have always pushed for the idea of the digital ID. We did, at one point, the UK did have an ID card system just after the Second World War, and they really pushed, the government of the time really pushed to try and keep it on board, just like they also wanted to keep rations going for the hell of it as well, because it's just another form of control. Eventually they got rid of it. Personally, I don't think the government's going to be able to do it. I think there'll be so much pushback that eventually it'll go nowhere, and there'll be, their own bureaucracy will sink them. But I hope it doesn't happen. If it does happen, I'll resist it as long as possible. Because I'm fundamentally against it. I'm against the idea of big state controlling every aspect of my life and everything I do in it. So,
yeah, absolutely. Like, at the end of the day, I completely agree on that. It's just like, because it's also, as I watched a lot of Black Belt Barrister, his point was he actually had somebody contact him, and it's like it's all going to be done via an app on your phone. So, like, how secure is that app? Like, what's stopping that app from being hacked? And
nothing. It will be, and it will be. It definitely will be. That's the thing.
And and I say that in front of Mike, knowing that, like you saying, you've done IT work, you've done work with stuff like that. So, all it takes is one rogue state, or
not even a state, individual, anything like that. To be honest, most of the hacks, the major data loss hacks that we have, are down to human error.
Yeah,
down to human error.
They're down to human error.
And I know a company, I can't name them, spent a fortune on security and stuff like that, and they got vetted every 6 months because they were part of IBM and it was part of their services, and they had their servers there, so it was part of that system. They failed it, cost them a massive fine. Do you know why? Because one of the not the CEO, but one of the senior officers had his password on a post-it stuck to his monitor.
Yeah, I've literally walked into jobs before when I could work, right, and I'd be sitting down in front of somebody to do a data entry job, and you'd see like the IT person's workstation. It's like username for the actual main workstation for the server would be like, admin123, password, see above. And I'm like, right, I'm not working here. You have no data security.
You also just get those malicious people, those people who are, disgruntled workers that think, you know what, to hell with this company. I'm going to take all this data and I'm just going to post it in the internet because I'm a dick. And I hate that company.
And it's just like, I can think of hundreds of ways where if they make the digital ID an app on your phone, that it's just going to go to hell in the handbasket in 5 minutes, because then, malware. I mean, come on, you download a dodgy app. Now your phone's got malware. Now who can see what you're doing? Who can lock you out? No, it's there's just so many ways it's gonna.
We're too interconnected for this not to happen anyway. Right, I'm gonna stop giving me reasons. There's too many. Stop giving me reasons. I'm cutting it off. Right. So you guys, Alan, Sam, we have to vote now. I'm gonna go through them, and we have to say yes or no if they go on the wheel. All right, and be as brutal as you want. This is entirely up to you guys. All right, if you two disagree, I'll be the decider. Other than that, it's on you. All right. So the first reason is because I don't have one.
That's a valid reason.
It is a valid reason. I can't argue with that logic.
Okay, Mr. Wild Beast, you're on the list. If nobody else goes on the list, you win by default. Cause I'm hard as fook.
I like your riff. You're funny, but postage for him's going to be a nightmare because you're in South Africa. So
He's in Wales. His riff.
is he in Wales?
He's in Wales. Yeah, it's a bit distance difference.
Do we really want to be giving people from Wales a knife? There's a little knife on there. Look, they won't know how to use it.
This is between you two. You two decide.
Oh,
Oh, it's a nope. Oh,
yeah. I'm like, no, mate.
Riff?
I've got to say no because makes it
If you're that hard, you'll be able to make your own.
Rift, you're out. Oh, one of the moderators is out. Shocking.
Oh.
You shouldn't be entering as a moderator anyway. Chopping me sausage. I don't know if that's a reason or just a comment. That's a no. You don't make the list. I'm
For
afraid.
your own protection, that's just going to hurt. You don't want to do that.
Because Miss Worm has made me do homework all night for a zone meetup points.
Yep, that's a good reason.
Yep.
Polonium is going on the list. Sorry, I'm keeping you guys probably longer than you want to be here, but you know, it is what it is. Because I'm evil and enjoy causing havoc. I'm not sure we can condone that and give her a weapon for that reason.
No.
You
don't want
moderator. You can't.
Don't be armed and Miss Worm or evil even. Evil Girl and Miss Worm both banned. Neither one of them should get any kind of tool whatsoever.
Miss Worm's already got a whip apparently, so it's fine. According to Brian. Rachel says because I'm skint, I'm putting her on the list because that's my reason for needing everything. Because I'll send you a homemade cake back.
No.
I'm not sure I'm going to take homemade cakes off strangers as much as I appreciate it. I don't know what you're putting in there. Why is this cake hairy? My daughter has taken my multi-tool, says Dave. He's had his stolen off his own daughter.
Stolen by his own daughter. Outrageous.
Yeah. Put him on the list.
But Dave.
At least your daughter's prepared. Then she's at least got the necessary tool. Multi tools are fantastic, by the way, just generally for survival purposes.
100%. Yeah, definitely. I would never go home without one. Never go home without one. Never leave home without one.
Yeah.
I need it as I'm currently locked in a Chinese basement as part of a bot farm and chained to a wall.
Absolutely, that definitely needs it.
Right, I'm going to put you on the list, but I'm not sure how we get it to you. This is going to be the problem, right?
I'm saying yes, just because.
I'll send it to I'll send it for preparing the path, care of Chinese government. Amphia says because I already have 11 and I like even numbers. Can't do it. Can't do it. So there's people that haven't got one Amphia.
It's like one of those those people that you see on YouTube that are like, I'm going to show you my bug out bag now, and they have 6 different knives. You don't need 6 knives. Come on, one knife, 2 at a push, 2 at a push.
Just get one good one.
Yeah, any more than 2.
Yeah. I have a chronic tool addiction and feed, and I don't have one yet. I don't have one as
as an intervention. I'm going to have to say no there as well.
Because if you've got a tool addiction, I've been there.
You guys are brutal. He doesn't have one. Brutal. Sorry, Master. Sorry, this is not down to me. Hacking says I've already got Leatherman, so not deserving. He doesn't get you.
I didn't even read his comment. I just said no.
Because I'm a woman, I multitask. I need a multi-tool to keep up with me. Nikki's going on the list.
Yeah.
There we go. Because she's been on I think it's the same one from the podcast, if I'm not mistaken. Because I have digital ID.
Oh, God. That should disqualify you straight off the bat.
If you end up with a multi-tool, then you're liable to have some sort of like special forces jumping through your window and taking it off you.
Yeah, I think because you've got digital ID, you're going to be traced down. We can't take the risk, I'm afraid. Can't send you something with my return address on. I'll be hunted. It's like my daughter's story. I need it. I want it. I have to have it, says Brian.
Oh, God.
It's on you guys. It's on you guys. No pressure.
Oh, what are you thinking, Alan? Because
No.
There's lots of
Alan's-
things I need and want, but you know, it's just
Yep.
not how life works. Not how life works.
Alan's brutal tonight.
Brutal tonight.
Because I have no bathroom or kitchen ceiling, says Snapdragon.
All love it.
I don't
And
know.
how's a
I mean,
multi-tool?
it'd be an impressive video, right?
A bathroom rebuild entirely with a multi-tool. Yes, put on the
Yeah,
list.
go on. Just
Snapdragon.
Yep.
Snapdragon, you're going on the list with that caveat that we want to see a full rebuild with this multi-tool.
Oh god.
Because I have no friends in Zone 6.
Come to Zone 7. Move to Zone 7. That's where it's
you-
all happening.
You need to... That's Zone 5.
I think
where
I'm
the cool
done.
people are.
I think.
Yes, no for Ronald.
Yeah, go on. Mhm.
Oh, we've got a disagreement. Nah, I'm going to say yes just because Alan's being brutal.
Outvoted.
So I'm doing what I can, guys. I'm doing what I can. I need a multi-tool to complete my set as I'm married with 2 kids, so I have the human tools already covered.
Yeah,
Yeah, go on.
I suppose so.
Gatwick, scuba. This is the best way we've done a competition ever. I should have it because I got caught. I got Danny Dyer shagging my cat.
I kind of want to say yes now, just for the sheer ridiculous excuse.
He's going on the list for making me cry. Oh, excellent. Keith McIntyre need to build a fence to keep Starmer away.
Nah. I also need to build a fence. I've still never got around to doing that after that last storm. You need more than a multi-tool for that.
I mean, Alan, you know you're not on this list, right? So saying no is not going to increase your odds. I'm just
Well,
saying.
Well, you know.
Purple Ale, because I already said you are my master. Sorry, guys.
Groveling.
You're outvoted. It works. Groveling works. Groveling, bribery, it all works. You're on the list. Because my mate's on and he's a good friend, says Daniel.
Yeah. Yes.
Is that
Hello, Dan.
all right? Okay, there you go. So that sounds mate. So yeah, go on. Dan's going on. You better be subscribed, otherwise.
I was slightly confused there. I'm like, I have no mates. What are you saying?
All my friends are here.
This is it. This is how I spend life now.
Because nothing else has worked. So if I jam that into my mesh cart, it might actually pick something up.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
Rector. I'm just abbreviating all your names, so I hope you realise when you win. Willow. This is the last one. Willow Tree. Because I need something to cut up the digital ID when it arrives.
Yes.
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 Even though it's digital, so there's no actual card. That's why it's digital. You gotta cut up your phone.
Again, it would make great content. So there you go. Make sure you film it if you do anything like that. Right. Awesome. We have a wheel. We have a wheel. Let me pop it out. The wheel.
Oh God.
And like that. There we go. And do that. And do that. And do that. And we have a wheel. There we go. This is going to be very anticlimactic for a lot of you, but for one person, it might be really exciting. So here we go. Spin the wheel.
Go on.
Mr. Wildbeast.
There you go.
Mr. Wildbeast.
Well,
If you're
was
still
it?
in there,
What
Yeah,
was his
well,
reason
okay.
again? What was his reason?
I've
Can we
closed
remember?
them all off. I don't know.
Ah,
It's closed off. They're going down. But Mr. Wildbeast has won. Make a comment. Let us know you're still in here to see. Yeah, there you go. There we go. Oh my God. All right. So, Mr. Wildbeast, email me at ukurbanprepper@gmail.com with your address, and I'll get that sent off to you early next week whenever my post office decides to open. Does anyone else not have post offices anymore? Just has converted shops that, you know, sometimes have somebody on the counter, sometimes can't be asked, sometimes just close. Is that what post office has become for everyone else now?
yeah. The post office in my town is literally a locker. that you put you put in like a little code and you get your stuff, you know. But yeah,
At least that's always open. I prefer the locker to the shop that can't be asked to open.
Well, I was going to say the post office for us used to be in WH Smith's till WH Smith's went bust, and now no bugger knows where it is unless you want to find a random Premier or other corner shop that's got a teeny tiny post office counter that you might get served in half an hour. You might get served in an hour. Depends on how busy it is.
Don't worry, it'll come back as part of another shop. Has anyone noticed that's happening a lot now as well? I saw Toys R Us the other day, and it was like a section in another shop.
Toys R Us.
Yeah, it's an actual Toys R Us, but it was a section in another shop, and I think there's a few places that have done it. Like all the shops. Game is no longer a game shop; it's a part of Sports Direct. It's a section in another shop.
Is it just like a cheap rip-off, or is it an actual? It's like a Toys R Us, but the R's the right way around this time.
No, it's branded. It's actual Toys R Us.
Really?
It's actual Toys R Us is back, but it's
I
like
did not know Toys R Us was back.
Yeah. I think we're going to end up with just these hybrid supermarkets with all the brands we recognise, just all under one roof. It makes me think of Idiocracy again. Have you seen that film?
Yes.
No. I've not seen it. Oh, I need to watch it. Yeah.
They
go to the Walmart, and the Walmart is like the size of 10 cities.
Yeah.
And there's like people that have been lost in there for years. And time machines are on aisle 37,302. And it's just everything's in Walmart.
It sounds like that South Park episode. Do you ever see that South Park episode where the Walmart's like a mirror on the wall that forces people to go in there, and they meet the manager and like, we hate the Walmart, we hate it. It makes us come here though. You know, fantastic episode.
Honestly, you'd love Idiocracy. It's an old film. I can't remember the guys in it, but it's brilliant. Yeah, it's really good. It's stupid. It's stupid. There you go. Toys R Us is in WH Smith's. There you go. So, two failed businesses merged together to create one hybrid. Get your pencils, magazines, and toys. Sainsbury's has Argos in. Yep, that's the other one. There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. Our nearest Argos is in Sainsbury's, where the fish counter used to be.
Didn't Sainsbury's buy Argos? Isn't that the reason, or was it the other way around? You know,
I assume Sainsbury's bought Argos that way. Does anyone remember Index though?
Oh God, yeah. Jeez, now I'm feeling old.
At Christmas, you would get the Argos catalogue and the Index catalogue. They were more or less the same type of shop, but Index just failed completely.
Oh yeah. I'm not quite 40, but yeah, I can remember Index.
And you'd get a catalogue each, and you could go through it with your pen, circling everything, and then your mum would take that away and buy you fucking none of it.
Good times. Good times.
It was the hope. That's what she was selling, the hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, circle what you want, and then you get bugger all.
There you go. Idiocracy is a documentary and guaranteed prophecy, not just a movie. 100% Guardian, 100%. It's everything is branded. It's brilliant.
The other one that has been bought out is Habitat. I think it's because it's Habitat and Argos are now mainly in Sainsbury's.
Yeah, it's all going that way. It's all just going to become merged into one thing. And to be honest, I don't blame them. It's the only way they can stay open because everything's online, right? So, I wanted to show you my rod. So this is the size I've been dealing with, Alan.
Oh, did you buy a bigger one at last?
This is my new one.
That's it.
No, that's legit.
More length, same girth.
That's it. I'll tell you what, though. Feels like a billy club.
I think that might even be bigger than mine.
It's 8 inches.
See, I measure from the rope to the tip.
All right, okay. I'm even longer then. Look at that.
Oh damn!
Arm's length.
Oh well.
You never expected to log on to this channel and see us all comparing our rods.
I've got a lot of skill with it, though. You know, it's what you do with it that matters.
I nearly set fire to my carpet. Does that count?
Oh God! Yeah.
All of my skill is entirely by myself as well.
Yeah. Let's not go into weird.
By myself in the woods.
Right. Let's not go into
Before anyone thinks, because my reputation of accidents, I didn't really nearly set fire to my carpet. Don't use a ferris rod indoors. Don't be stupid, please.
Trust me. You won't. You will not best me for pissing off like over 90 flats in 15 seconds because I got the jet boil and the new MSR stove, and I thought to myself, well, it's a bit blowy. I'll just check they're not leaking. Plunked them on top of my cooker. Lit the first one. Fucking heat alarm above the cooker triggered. Mass-wide building evacuation. Fire service, whole 9 yards.
Oh, wow. Why is there a heat alarm above a cooker? It feels like a flawed plan in the first place.
I've done. No, the ironic thing is, fireman gets out, takes one look at me, and just goes, "Oh, for Christ's sake! If it's not one idiot, it's the other one." I went, "What?" He went, "Your mate that lives one town over it. Like, he set his heat alarm off 4 times this week cooking pizza." And I'm like, "We should learn to cook then." But yeah, the council have put heat alarms literally directly above where the freestanding cookers go. So if you're boiling pasta and the steam and the steam hits the centre for a bit too long, building-wide evacuation.
That's a very council thing to do.
Yes,
it does. It feels like very built by the lowest bidder. Last minute. Have you put the heat alarm in? No. Go put it in the kitchen. Wherever there's going to be heat. Oh, cooker.
So I will literally at some point put a picture in Discord of like a little video clip panning up from my cooker, and you will see that literally just off to the side of the hob there is the heat alarm.
Yeah.
And like I think I'd been here a week, and somebody was decided at 2:00 in the morning. Oh, I fancy some popcorn. Started cooking it on the hob. You can see where this is going.
Oh,
yeah, we had a communal smoke alarm in the flat that I first lived in, and people used to like set that off all the time. It was a real pain in the arse.
Yeah,
and loud as well. It was bloody loud.
Yeah.
That was the thing. It wasn't something you could just ignore.
Honestly, people are idiots. That's a good rule of prepping, right? Why do you prep? People are idiots, all right?
Yes.
I was evacuated out of the Aboard Hotel in Manchester once, and it was 3:00 in the morning because somebody decided I need a crafty cigarette at this time in my room. So it evacuated the whole thing. Got down there, and on the way back in, I said to one of the firemen were there. I said, "All sorted now?" He went, "I hope so." As we were walking past him to go back to our rooms, like, "Oh, that's great! It fills me with confidence. That, thank you."
Yeah, you hope so. You hope so.
Honestly, madness. Put a sock over the alarm. If I put one of my socks over a smoke alarm, it would probably go off.
You want to get like a rubber glove or something? That's what you want to do. That's how you used to do it in the dormitories. I finally found a use for them condoms that I never use. the magnums.
I could put my leg in this.
I could put my ferro rod in this. Nothing else.
I've never felt as inadequate as when I'm starting fires. I'm gonna go back to the Brian size. No. Sorry, Brian. Oh dear, we've digressed into away from prepping and stuff. I've put a link in for Guardian and Bob, but they're probably listening to our conversation thinking,
nope.
Just thinking when Guardian was talking about things that become documentaries. Remember Demolition Man? I was watching that yesterday. Fantastic movie. That's a documentary. That's 100%. That even watching it now, that some of it's not funny because you're like, well, that's just true. Yeah, I mean,
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the day. John Spartan, you have been fined 1 credit for violation of the verbal morality statute.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for the day.
We'll take the bill right off your digital ID.
John said, should Mike's new rod be the next giveaway? No, I can't afford to give away things. It's just stuff I don't, that I've gained. What I've started doing is blackmailing these companies. So they've Hill have just contacted me, and they've got this new carbon detector that also has temperature and humidity and stuff, and you can put it in your bag and take it with you, stuff like that. Can we send it you to review? I was like, only if you send me 2 so I can give one away. So I've just started blackmailing any of these companies now. So I'll give away my little rod.
Do you know, I got an email the other day from a company selling some sort of tap thing. And they're like, well, we really like your YouTube channel, and would you like to, talk about our product, and we'll send it to you for free? And I'm looking at them like, I don't get it. I mean, it's a tap, but it's not like a filter or nothing. There's no prepping utility. There's no survival utility. It's a random tap. I'm like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? It's like,
this is when you know they've not watched your channel. They've just gone metric, 1,000 to 5,000. Send it to all of them.
Yeah, or it's just a complete scam. The second I click that link, my channel's overtaken by some crazy YouTuber. So yeah. And nobody ever sends me anything. I've never reviewed anything I've been sent. Everything I've reviewed has always been my own. But we recently I've been getting sent sort of weird emails like, "Do you want to review this tap?" No.
Well, no. If they're gonna send you something to review, at least make it something that.
Send me some beer or something, and I'll review that while I'm in a tent. There's no point in sending me a bloody tap.
Yeah. Beer 52 if you're watching. There you go.
Yeah.
No, I get it all the time. Like they're just random bulk things. If I've stopped. I used to reply out of courtesy. Now I just ignore them if they're not relevant.
If they're not relevant, delete them.
You get all sorts of fake ones. So every YouTuber has probably had an email at some point from a company going, "We've got this new game called Black Hawk Helicopter, blah, blah, blah. We want to pay you and all this." All you've got to do is click this tiny URL link and review the contract and put your details in. It's like, no.
Nope.
And you Google the name of the game and it's no such game. But I've actually, for the first time ever, looks like you made it. I've got a contact of a company which is actual real software. And it's a real company, and it's the real email. It's not at Libero IT, etc. And it's for it's something I would use as a gamer, but I don't know if an advert is going to be relevant to preppers. So, but I've said if you want to sponsor a video, I'll run it. Yeah. So we'll see what they come back with.
I tell you what's worse. It's worse when you try to contact a company to reply back to you and say, "We just don't think you're kind of done enough work yet. Keep on going though, slugger. But you're not quite there yet. We're not sending you nothing for free."
I contacted so many people to send me a tent before my hike, and it just never happened. Hello, Bob. Welcome to the party. We started on prepping, but it's just
we haven't said anything negative about the United States. Although I did imply earlier that you might want to destroy the whole of Europe. So other than that, nothing else.
Okay.
Not you personally, Bob. Not you personally.
Let's blow up Europe. I mean, why not? We'll spin the wheel.
Certainly, I'll put you right back at the fall. I'll put you right back up there.
You can't shine by throwing other people in shit, right? I don't think that's the thing.
Oh my God. Oh God, yeah. Americans are invaded us shit. I don't know what man. You guys would be screwed up if we invaded, man. Force you to drop your tea and drink coffee for the rest of your lives, and
no.
You can't invade here. You speak English and you're competent. We wouldn't know what to do with you.
I tell you what.
Yeah, we wouldn't need to go on benefits, would we?
We wouldn't have to go in the hotels or get free phones.
Oh,
they would invade. They would see the state of the roads, the weather, and the crazy accents. They'd be like, "Yeah, we're going to leave now. We're going to make our way back to the Middle East."
Let's go back to the Middle East. We know we know what to do over there, but I don't want to shoot these people. They're my cousins. What the hell,
I did see Trump said that all trade with Canada's now over because he was annoyed at a 1-minute advert. I did see that earlier in the news. That was quite interesting.
Oh, I heard something about that.
Anti-tariff advert though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Dude, he's a businessman. This guy's got plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, like 3D chessboard, you know.
Do you know what I like about that though? That kind of Trump response. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, see the company that put out the advert. It's that wasn't the Canadian government. That was just like one like province in Canada, and it was one little what we would call like a council that was putting out ads. So it's just like some like council executive somewhere of like 20 people in an office thinking, yeah, let's put out an ad and do this. And Trump, the president of the United States, has decided to screw the whole of Canada by saying, well, you know what, hell, he's no trade for you as ever.
Do you know what that is?
Can you imagine what they're like in that office right now?
That works. That works. Do you know what that is? That's like a military mentality, right? If you were formed up in the corridor and one of your guys didn't have his stuff pressed right, did he get punished and you didn't? No, it was a corridor beasting for all of you. Because what happens then is he walks away and you teach that guy. Yeah, it works.
Punishment.
Yeah.
Lock punishment across the board.
Does. Now you got to remember this. Hey, this guy's got a business mentality. You know, I'm gonna get in there and stir them all up and get them all screwed up and agitated, and then I've already got a plan over here and a plan over here, and I'm gonna go back to negotiations, and then we'll get more favorable terms. You know, that's
for better or for worse.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Hey, it keeps working as well. That's the thing. It does. It works.
It works.
You know,
of course it
the last time he
Yeah.
did this with Canada, because he's done it before, they reneged immediately and went back to whatever it is they were doing beforehand. So yeah, it did work.
Yeah. Don't I mean, they'd be better off just to negotiate face to face. Okay, well, we'll lose this. We'll give you that. We'll lose this. You'll give you that. Sign the deal. Okay, let's go. Let's go back to business as usual. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whether you want to admit it or not, whether you like him or not, it works.
I did also like to see all of the sort of the Democrats in the United States losing their mind over the East Wing getting refurbished and demolished. I heard somebody on the BBC Radio 4 today was saying it's an absolute tragedy that they've changed the integrity of the East Wing. It's like, wait a minute, didn't Obama turn it into a basketball court? It wasn't a swimming pool before that, and so it's not like it hasn't been touched before.
He's not the first. I mean, none of this stuff is new. I think it's pretty cool. You know, he wants to turn it into a ballroom because he's been all over Europe and the European leaders and the old castles and the old structures. They all had a big ballroom where they had flags hanging and all that. So I think it's pretty fucking cool. If you want to turn it into
he's copying us. That's what he's doing.
Yeah,
he's copying Buckingham
That's what he's
Palace.
doing. Yeah, you guys and the French and the Belgians and all that. You guys got a grand ballroom.
Not so much the French.
Yeah, no, you guys don't like the French. I don't know why. But...
He's made his feelings clear on the French tonight, and possibly get us all in trouble. But
they can't even hold on to their own crown jewels.
Yeah. Well, his mom's from Scotland. You know that?
Yeah.
His mom's from so. He's been around, and I think if he wants to make it a grand ballroom with murals of the United States and fucking go for it, man. I'd rather have him spend that money on a ballroom than a bunch of missiles and bombs.
He even paid for it himself. It was him that paid. He no taxpayers' money. It was all.
Okay. Hey, man, fucking bravo, bitch, bravo. Yeah.
He uses when he's done up that room in St Andrews and stuff like that as well. He made a point of making sure it was all local contractors that got the work as well, which I really like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I suppose the only thing I would object to if I was American is like Trump's taste is a bit tacky. It's all gold leaf and bloody cheesy looking soft hotelier type. If he turns it into Mar-a-Lago Point too, it's going to look shit.
If you're seeing behind him on the decor inside the Oval Office,
there will be an actual neon light. Or it just says Trump and it's bang, bang, bang.
Turn on the MAGA neons.
Yeah, there you go. Well, shit.
Excellent.
If I was president, man, I'd have the fucking hottest Thailand ledge dancers right there in the grand ballroom with little mini skirts and their fucking nurse uniforms and shit. That's what I do, man. You know, shaking them little brown booties. Like, that's me. You know?
And then you have the PC nation that will stop over here for, was it Formula One, that can't have pit girls anymore because it's degrading.
Yeah, you've got to hand it to Trump. He is a clear speaker, though. I mean, he comes straight to the point. I was listening to him about the stuff in Venezuela as well, and like, oh, this reporter is like, why don't you go to Congress and declare war on drug trafficking and do this? Is like, why do I need to do that? I'm just going to kill them. And he actually says, let's be clear, I'm just going to kill them. They'll be dead. They'll be dead. Do you understand? You know, it's like, bloody hell. He just gets straight to the point. There's no mess.
Hey, man, yeah.
Do you know what sold me? It was very early on, and I can't remember the issue at the moment, but I put a short on my channel on TikTok or something like that for it. But it was when he's talking about the two wars just outside the helicopter, and he just goes, "'Cause they don't know what the fuck they're doing," and walks off. I was like, fucking stick your Obama mic drop up your ass. That one.
I agree.
It would have been the only thing that made it better would if he had Ray-Bans and put them down as he walked.
That's what us blue collar Americans respect. Is somebody will go, "You don't know what the fuck you're doing." You know, that's,
honesty.
Okay, now you're talking to me. You know. Yeah, I respect the shit out of that. Yeah, man. Thailand ledge dancers and all. Oh, fucking A, man. I'd be surrounded by that shit. He's a misogynistic. Yes, I am.
And I'm fucking loving it.
Yes, I am a misogynist. I love women, and I love their shape. You know.
My stepdad's favourite phrase was, "If God made anything better than women, he kept it for himself."
Oh, I agree. Hey, that's a good sign. I like that. I'm going to use that. I'll use that later. I absolutely adore females, man. Because they're so necessary to us, and I think you gentlemen would agree. A good woman next to you, you've got it made. You know. Yeah.
Depends what I'm doing at the time. I sometimes don't want her next to me.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, I don't know how we follow Bob's presidential campaign. I don't know where this podcast goes now.
Oh, dude, you don't want me to be a world leader. You don't want that, you know.
You don't think Bob is a bit like an older American version of Brian?
Yes, someone just said.
Yeah.
Who needs Brian when we've got Bob? That's what. There you go.
A no nonsense speaker.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the thing about us boomer generation is we've got a lot of life experience, and we cut to the chase. Like, hey, you know what? You're a good-looking woman, you know, or I mean, that's just how I am. And you know, the younger girls kind of like I'll see a pretty lady. A lady dressed nice and fit and all that. You're cute, and you know what? They might call you a misogynist when they turn their back, but they always smile. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's how us boomers are. We'll just put it right out there. You know.
It's a nice thing. It's positive. It's confidence. It's good. It's just there's too many woke people that turn it into, oh, it must mean this.
No, it's actually a crime in the UK to wolf whistle somebody. It's an actual crime.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Dude,
do you know? I was thinking. Do you know? The women in Greg's called me darling the other day, and I'm thinking, is that a hate crime? It might be. You know, it would be if I called her darling, but you know.
Oh yeah. I guess the Philippines is like that too. They, you know, you can't say hello gorgeous or whatever. It's illegal now. But I mean, come on, man. I have never met one woman. Well, yeah, actually I have. Okay, I've never met a smart, intelligent woman that will get angry if you tell her she's cute or I like your outfit. You know, the angry beasts with studs all over their fucking face, they'll get angry.
I suppose it depends on context and where you are. You know, if you're in the middle of being, you're getting a prostate exam or something, and you turn to the doctor and say, you're kind of cute. Probably not the best time, but
it's all about context.
Context is important. I have a funny one for you on that one, Alan. My stepdad is a radiographer. Years ago, he gets a man in. Mm-hmm. He's been involved in a serious car crash. So he's lying on the x-ray table and the doctor's like, I've got to give you a prostate exam. And he starts going off with all of the homophobic expletives we shan't repeat. Right? And after about 15 minutes, the bloke goes, all right, just give me the damn exam. The doctor puts the glove on, lubes up, and literally not even 30 seconds in, the bloke just looks over to the doctor and goes, hey, doc, now your ring's on my finger. Does that mean we're engaged? I'm like,
wow.
I'm like, contact. There's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah. God damn it! Can't you buy me a drink first?
Yeah.
That's all you got, dog? Come on, hit me! God damn it, hit me!
Yeah.
Polonium is calling this pissed up prepping. It's only I'm not drinking. It's only Alan that's being.
I am quite pissed up.
No, they don't. Was it prepping the pan? I haven't seen that channel before. That's a new one.
They don't get called cute.
Oh, okay. Well, that's it's just us boomers. I mean,
Yeah, we do.
It's kind of like that's a mentality Trump has, and many men my age. I mean, I'm in my early 60s. It's like, why be a little wimp and oh God, move out of my way, man, get out of the way.
As much as I won't use age for an excuse of anything I do, I'm in control of all my behaviours. I do feel sorry for the generations coming up now, because you've got to mind everything you say. Every little thing, for the smallest interaction with a human, you've got to be like, oh, I can't say that, oh, I can't say that, oh, I mustn't say that, oh, I can't. Like you just said there, Alan, saying darling. I've said that. I say darling quite a lot. It's like, it depends what region you're brought up in.
I think it's got to end now. I mean, that's why they're called Gen Z, because, I mean, there's a reason it's the last letter of the alphabet, because after that, they're just, that's it, they're done. They're fucked. You know what I mean? It's like, they'll just start again, go back to A or whatever it was,
Oh, there's something that has to happen.
Well, I use the word darling frequently. Frequently, if I don't know a lady's name, supermarket checkout. Hello, darling. How's your morning? Yeah. Just be upbeat and hello, darling. Yeah. It's all in context.
Look at that. Leanne Mack says, my neighbours think I'm oppressed because we are a traditional Christian household. Hubby is head of the family. He provides and protects, and I just think the modern way is weird. So because she's living in that way, the neighbours think she's oppressed. That's just insane. That's insane.
Yeah. Just
live. Hey, if you're happy that way, live that way.
Live that way. Don't. Yeah. I
hate prostate exams when the doctor puts both hands on your shoulders during the exam.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, though.
The only difference between romantic and creepy is whether she likes you or not. Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Do you know? Weirdly, I heard a thing ages ago, and it was they were talking about when is it appropriate to flirt with somebody at work. And this woman was on
when you're after a pay rise.
There was this woman. It was on that Question Time. That's what it was on there. The TV show Question Time. Bob won't know it. It's a terrible panel show full of politicians. But this woman was this politician. I can't remember her name. She was like, it's never appropriate for anybody to ever flirt with anybody at work. Not once, not twice, never. But then it turns out, apparently 2/3 of all people meet their future wife or husband at work. So
true.
If you're prohibited from ever flirting with that person, how does that ever happen then? You know, because that's the natural space where that kind of stuff happens. I mean, just look at the work, the kind of jobs I work in. There's not a single woman, you know, for 100 miles. It's just all men.
Well,
you know,
this is another step down our little journey in the UK to the 1984 film. You know, they couldn't have feelings, they couldn't stuff like that. That'll be the next one.
You will be assigned a partner by Starmer's government. He will give you a mate where you can reproduce.
No, because with my luck, it'd be like a 27-stone growler.
Hey, you get assigned a 27-stone growler, send them my way, Mike. I've just got rid of a 42-stone growler, so I'm happy.
Half it.
I'll make an upgrade.
My ex was twice the woman yours was.
Yeah, literally.
Same here, Bob. Us boomers are past caring. If it offends, we don't give a fudge.
Yeah. I mean, we know the limit. We're older and mature. We know the limit. You know.
You'd never do it in a hurtful manner. That's the point, right?
Never.
That's the whole
Never.
point of it. It's how offense is never. 9 times out of 10, it's not the person that is the target that is offended. It's somebody else, some passerby, some bystander, someone who wants to feel like they're morally superior that gets offended at stuff. It's just ridiculous. I call my wife darling quite often, normally after the word yes, and the 5th time of her asking me to do a shit job. Listen, the 2 words that will make any marriage happy are yes, dear. That's all you need to know. Just yes, dear. That's the 2 words. That's the key to success of marriage. That was an American gentleman who told me that on one of our tours, and he'd been married for 40 years. And that was his entire marriage advice was yes, dear.
I've been with my wife for 21 years. Beautiful Filipina, and I love her very much. You know, And when she gets on my nerves, when she gets on my nerves or something, I'll tell her, I'm calling ICE on you, and they're going to send you to Alligator Alcatraz. Missus, get in the goddamn boat. You're going. Too late, mister. I'm a citizen. Too late. I'm
calling ICE on you.
As you proved the other day on your podcast, Bob, they can be an angry bunch if you wind them up. They start throwing shoes at you and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, you got to know that fine line, dude, because those little Asian ladies are sweet and loving, but there is a fine line there. You don't want to go over that fine line, man.
Yeah, they'll kick your arse.
I think that's all women.
All women, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
I've been with Mr. Evil 20, yes, 18, married, and we don't have arguments because he goes and games while I sit on weird YouTube channels. Welcome.
Well, I mean, right now, my wife worked night shift last night, and she's awake. She's sitting on the sofa right now. She watches these weird Chinese soap operas, and all the actresses on those Chinese soap operas are freaking extra hot, man. I mean, they are just drop dead sexy Asian chicks. But and she's doing her thing. I'm doing my thing. Go ahead, go.
That's why you should spend quality time. Yes, I'll watch this soap opera with you. I have no idea what they're saying, but I could still enjoy it.
Yeah, we do. They got it. You should see. These are the most horrible soap operas on the planet. Some Chinese dude who had two years of English education dubbed it in English. It's terrible. Like their names are things like Horace and Jasper and shit like that. Names from 150 years ago,
I see where this is going.
Oh my god. Yeah, my wife likes it because all the women in this, she watches several soap operas, but all the women wear extremely expensive, very feminine clothes. And as soon as a woman enters the room, they've got to zoom in on her handbag and her shoes and the outfit she's wearing and the jewelry. It's Chinese, man. They're marketing.
Yeah, definitely. It's selling all the time.
That's what they're doing,
Mr. T says, "Aren't the Asian ladies crack shot with ping pong balls?" Come
Oh,
on, guys. Let's keep it PG.
Yeah, I've
Maybe
only heard
not
about
on
that
that
ping
one,
pong
yeah.
ball. Yeah, I've only heard of that. I've never seen it. Yeah.
I remember that holiday. It was great.
I bet you do.
I remember that stag too. Polonium makes a really good point here on this whole wokeness thing. Makeup is designed to make women look sexually aroused. That's the whole design of it. So
That's
why
true.
is it allowed in the workplace? High heels as well. There you go. And
Yeah.
why, you can't flirt, but they can come dressed like that. So interesting.
Yeah. I worked for Boeing for 30 years, and it was a big corporation. And you got to be real careful about what you say. And it's like you mentioned, Mike. It's not who you say it to; it's somebody over here who's listening, who will turn you into HR.
Yep.
And okay, for many years I was post-divorce and I was not attached. I didn't dip my wick into the company inkwell. I didn't mess with any of the women I worked with. I would date outside of the company, but I learned that limit, man. Don't go screwing around at work, married or not. Don't do it. Don't screw the women you work with.
Don't
You
shit
wanna
where you
enter-
eat.
Yeah, yes. I wanted to make sure that I could retire and get a pension, and that's the fastest way to get fired and lose your pension is screwing a woman on the job. Even though she might want it, 3 years from now she doesn't want it, and out you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Don't shit where you eat. It would.
Yes, sir.
It's good advice. It's good
Uh-huh.
advice. Welcome to the UK Urban Prepper relationship show. How you prepare for this, we have no idea. If we knew, we'd have done it a long time ago.
Oh, yeah, we kind
Yeah.
of went off scale, didn't we? What is it? What is the proper topic tonight? What the heck?
Our original thing, we were just talking about all the stuff going on in the world at the moment, but it's open mic. So if anyone wants to come in and show, we were showing off our rods, our ferrocerium rods and stuff like that. So it's just anything you want, really. But
Yeah,
that's-
I won't
that's
go get mine
my
because
feral
mine's.
I'll show I got a new knife, cold steel something or other. I got it on this. I got it hung up on this H harness, but this is a naughty little thing. I just got it yesterday. It's very
nice.
Yeah, but that's
What's that about?
Home invasion shit.
8-inch or something? That.
What's up? Yeah, around that. Yeah. I don't have a ferro rod, but yeah.
Yeah,
That's about the only thing I've got to show off.
Mora have just released a really good knife called the Mora Grand, which is, a longer version of the more famous one that they had. But 160 euros, I was like, no chance. I'm not paying for that.
Yeah.
This is a little Mora wood carver. I've used this knife more than any other knife I've ever had in my life, and it sits right here on my workbench. Yeah. Those Swedes know how to make some good steel, dude. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, man.
Weird, because Mora, one of those companies, you can pay £100 for a knife, and they'll sell you one for £6 as well, which will do the same thing.
Yeah.
One of my first ever bushcraft knives were one of the little Moras that were about £7 or something like that. Comes in the plastic sheath. I just used it so much because camping, it hung on the belt perfectly, and I just used it for everything. It was great.
That's the same with this one right here. Has been on my workbench now for 10 years. A couple swipes on an oil stone, and you're good to go. Oh, man,
Yeah.
Good.
Alan, you don't start showing us knives. You've had too much to drink. No sharp objects for you.
Oh yeah, I start looking around and I've got stuff lying all over the place, but it's too late at night for that kind of stuff anyway.
Yeah.
The Mora Companion though, that was the original Mora knife that was the really good one, and it was fantastic bushcraft knife, fantastic survival knife. It only cost like £12. It wasn't full tang, but it was it was carbon steel. I think they even used 01 steel at one point, which is really good Swedish blade. But yeah, the Mora Grand, I was watching a video about it earlier on, and I thought, oh, that's a good knife, I'll get that. And then I looked at the price, I was like, no, I don't know why it costs that much money, but you know,
because it's new. Buy it in 2 years' time when
Brandon.
it's half price.
Sounds about
Yeah,
right.
Moras are real popular here in the States as well. Now, you see them in campsites all the time. Even the girls wear a nice fixed blade little Mora, you know.
Yeah.
yeah.
In fact, a few years ago, when my daughter was a teenager, we sent her to a survival camp, outdoor survival camp.
Yeah.
And it was teenagers. And one teenage girl walked by, and I looked at her knife, and I go, "Is that a Mora knife?" And she goes, "What's a Mora?" I said, "Your knife. Is that a Mora?" "Oh, I don't know."
It's a pink one.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. She pulled it out of the sheath. "Oh, I guess it is." And, okay, go on. Go.
Knife. Marty says that's a fucking sword over here. We don't have a restriction on stuff like that. We can have a knife exactly like Bob's got. You just can't go shopping with it.
Yeah.
That's not a knife.
Oh, here we go.
Oh God, here we go.
That's a knife.
There you go. Uh-huh. I got a
Funnily enough, there's actually a Mora on this as well. You know, just because one wasn't big enough, I also put another one on it as well. But this is has a very specific purpose. That's why that's
as you do.
As you do.
Yeah.
This is a Malaysian. I think it was Malaysian. This is Parang.
Parang.
You know, it's called One Parang. It's a fantastic knife for
another one I got.
Tropical environments and things like that.
That's another one. I just bought this one recently, and I like this one better, so I put that on my H harness. But I took and fastened the scabbard onto the leg of my workbench here, and surprise! You want to walk into my garage uninvited? Surprise! Yeah, but
surprise! You want to walk into any house uninvited in the UK? Come ahead. We can't do anything about it. Just take my stuff. It's all right.
I bought another one recently, and I'm carrying it. It's on my jeans upstairs, but it conforms with all Washington state laws. The one I carry on my jeans, I can open carry it in. I make sure everything's compliant. I don't want to get locked up, but I can open carry it. And I asked the owners of the coffee shop, do you mind if I carry a hunting knife in here? She goes, "Go ahead, Bob, because you're not the only one who's armed in here."
Yeah.
You get what I mean? They're armed. The employees are armed too.
Is that a Gerber you've got behind you there, Mike? Was that a Gerber?
No, it's not. Funnily enough, did you see that stupid Bear Grylls series where he was hunting celebrities in that dome? In the forest area sort of thing? Well, on that, every time he left a note, there was a knife in it. And I thought, it looks like a pretty nice knife. And it was, there was a brand on it. And the brand is Whitby. So I thought, has he just got a contract with them to advertise them? What are they like?
Funny you should mention it.
I went and had a look. Well, I went and had a look, and this was how many? I don't know how much a Gerber like this would be, but this was like £27, and it's come to every single camp that I've done. I've used it, whether it's cutting meat, cutting wood, whittling, anything. I've battened with it. It's not all that thick, but I've battened with it. It's enough to do it without damaging it, and the blade's kept well, and it's been really good, surprisingly good. And I like the solid clip. It's either way, so you're not restricted which way it goes in, and the clip's really good. So it was an absolute bargain, to be fair.
I thought it was the Gerber Strongman, which is
I think it's modelled on them.
Yeah, the Bear Grylls knife that he had was modelled on the Strongman as well, and they cost about 90 quid now. At one time they cost about 40 quid. Now they're about 90 quid. It's an okay knife. It's not great, but
I just wanted to check because I thought a Bear Grylls series, you'd expect it to be a Bear Grylls branded knife in there because he had a thing with Gerber, didn't he, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
Oh.
It was Whitby, so I thought, oh, I'll give it a try. So it is. What I really do like about this more than anything else is the glass breaker punch thing,
Got it.
which is just a cool little extra on that. So.
Extra. Mhm.
Whitby seem to put on a lot of their knives because my little lock knife that I am reliably informed is not UK legal as a locking knife.
No.
No.
No locking blade.
Well, no, because I bought it from Army Surplus Shop and said, what have you got that's UK legal so I can just, clip it into my jeans just in case. And they went, oh, anything we sell is legal. And then I'm walking back, bump into a friend of mine who's a police officer, and he went, oh, somebody bought himself a new knife. And he went, and as soon as I locked it out, he went, blade's too long and it locks. That's not technically legal.
No.
Well, it's
illegal to carry. You can legally buy anything.
Yeah.
About. You can legally own a sword. I could buy a broadsword tomorrow, but you can't carry it around.
Yeah.
So legal carry in the UK is like pathetically stringent.
He was like, did you ask them whether that was legal to be an everyday carry? I went, of course I bloody did. I'm not stupid. And he went, and they said, yes, that's not legal. So they're like, unless you have a legitimate reason to carry it. And you can't say those two magic words. And I'm like,
self-defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
No such thing. No,
I'm
such
American.
thing.
I can say it. Yeah.
But it annoyed me because obviously I've always had the Leathermans, right? And I swear by them. Recommend them to everyone. I put the links out there constantly for them. Really good quality. But they're all lockout.
Yep.
So it went from a multi-tool that I everyday carry to now a multi-tool that does come on camp with me every so often. And they're making ones that don't lock out, but I've got a little one that I use for that anyway. So it's really frustrating. It's a stupid law that makes no difference. A little 3-inch, 2-inch knife, nobody's stabbing you with that anyway. It's slashing wounds, and even if it's not locked out, they can hold it into place with one of the handles that grip round.
And put the
It can
blade
still be
down there
damaged.
and punch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It can still be. It could do exactly the same thing. No locking.
Yeah.
It's just what it is lawmakers trying to make it look like they're doing something. The same way when they turned around and said, "Oh, we're tackling knife crime by banning zombie knives. Most kills are done with a kitchen knife. Are you going to ban kitchen knives?"
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. It's all politics. Oh, I'm here for you. Yeah, no, you're not. You're just acting like you're doing your job.
I guess with knives as well. I mean, I think I maybe own 5 knives or 6 knives, but they all have, each one of them has got like a specific use because I don't collect knives. I've got no interest in collecting knives, but I've got, I do a little bit of like spearfishing, so I've got a stainless steel knife just for that. That big one, that parang that I showed you, that's purely for tropical environments, even though I've only ever done that a couple of times in my life. My bushcraft knife, this is the knife that I use whenever I go into the woods and things like that. This is an Enzo trapper knife, that's perfect for survival. That's a perfect survival knife and great for you can carve with it, cook with it, do all sorts of stuff with it. It's no good. It's not a hunting knife. You wouldn't. It's a bit too thick to like skin animals with, although you could. You wouldn't use this if you were in the military because it's not a combat knife. It's not designed for that. But I mean, it's different knives for different tools. I've even got something like this, which is these are actually illegal in some states in the United States, apparently, which is a little dagger. You use these as well. I mean, this really only has a couple of functions, but I picked this up when I was abroad purely because you were allowed to legally carry that when you were abroad, and it's a boot knife, so you can put it in your boot. And I thought, I'll buy that while I was abroad, and I was able to bring it back on the plane, no problem, in your luggage. So I've kept a hold of it, but it has no actual use for me. This is the most useless knife I have, because I'm never going to use it for anything because it doesn't really function.
One day that knife will save your life somehow.
Somehow
justify the whole ownership.
It's like a fancy letter opener is what that has became.
We're tackling knife crime by constraining the law abiding. Yeah, exactly. This is the point. The only people that pay attention. There's no criminals and gang members going to these amnesties going, yeah, sure, here's all my zombie knives. No, they're not. It's only people that own something that falls in that category, who are law-abiding citizens, who wouldn't do anything bad with it anyway, that handed them in.
Yeah. But again,
Stupid.
it's just more control. That's all that is. It's just another form of control. It's not really to prevent people from committing some sort of criminal act, you know. You take a hammer, you can do some serious damage with a hammer. Walk into go into B&Q and buy a bloody axe, you know. You could buy it right off the shelf. Imagine the damage you could do with that, you know. Well, they're not banning these things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can do more damage with a hammer than, you know, big framing hammer or something. Oh crap, man. I'd rather get a knife than a big framing hammer, you know. Pow, break bones.
I'll tell you what, if I knew there was a murderous terrorist in my street somewhere, I would be more concerned to hear that he had access to a Land Rover than a knife. You know, or some other big heavy car, because you can do some serious damage with a car. You know, a knife, you can hurt somebody with a knife, maybe even 2 people, maybe even 3 people if you're, you know, a wizard, you know, if you're John Wick or something. But a car, any bloody idiot can drive a car into innocent people. And that's the kind of tactics that we see actual criminals, real criminals commit.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
those are the people the politicians should be concentrating on, not some granny at a German market with a folding knife. Do you ever see that video?
No.
Oh, on YouTube, if you put an old pensioner getting arrested by German police, you know, it was after how all the attacks that take place at German markets, stuff like that. The police were the police were spending all their time searching the handbags of like just random people, and they're on videotape searching the handbag of an old lady, and they're taking her tiny little 4-inch knife off her, saying, "Oh no, this is a potential terrorist weapon." And then the very same week, a crazy terrorist drives a car straight into the crowd of people and kills God knows how many.
Yeah. The thing is the masses are behind the illusion. So when they say we're tackling knife crime, we do this, they're like, oh, look, that's so good. And the masses are going like this. And they're not tackling any crime. It's the people of the issue. What is it? You know, it's guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yeah.
You know,
You can imagine in the briefing room beforehand, you know, the police briefing room, you've got 20 police officers there and a German market, which is a high priority target. And the briefing is, okay, we've got a 20-person resource here. We can focus our resources on randomly searching old ladies to see if they've got pocket knives, or just putting it out there, we could potentially start looking at people in cars and stuff, and, you know, see like the guy in his 20s who looks a bit shifty, you know, and he's in a car. What's he up to? Or we can go and look at this German lady and see what she's up to.
Can't judge a book by its cover anymore, Alan. You can't profile and stuff like. I mean, we teach like situational awareness and stuff like that, right? And things to look for that are out the norm and stuff like that. But in a woke society, you can't point out that guy is wearing a duffel jacket in 40 degrees of heat, because it might be his religion, or it might be this, or it might be that. You can't do it anymore. No. This is why Gen Z is screwed. Once like people like us, and once we've, you know, shuffled off our mortal coil, it's going to be chaos. Chaos.
There is one exception to the rule, right, where I can see the legitimacy for the authorities searching people like old ladies or whatever. And it's because there used to be a time, you know, back in the time where I heard like the police at airports and stuff were searching like single mothers and searching prams and looking at old ladies' bags and things. It's like, why are you wasting your time with all this? Pay attention to like the young man who's likely to commit the crime. Then I remember watching a documentary about I think they were the shoe bombers or something, but basically these terrorists were being watched by MI5, and their plan was to hijack aircraft like they did previously, and they were going to commit this act. They were going to America and they were going to crash these planes, basically a 9/11 type job. And MI5 had bugged their their conversations. And do you know what one of their conversations was? This was genuine. They were actually talking about taking their families on the flight, their wife and children, because it would be more legitimate for them to take their whole family, and they believe the authorities would pay less attention to them.
God almighty.
These are suicide bombers. And that was a real conversation they had. And they were saying they could hide like their weaponry and stuff, and their children's sort of like pram and all this kind of stuff. And I thought, now I know why the police search like children and prams and stuff at airports, because that's the ideology of some terrorists out there, you know.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. Some will just do whatever it takes to get the job done.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it is. I worked somewhere for years where literally we were told everybody must be searched on the way in for bladed articles, no exception. That worked until we were Fun Park and somebody fell off one of the rides. So the paramedics come screaming through in their uniforms, and security goes, "Excuse me, sir, you can't go through yet."
No.
I'm a paramedic. Well, you haven't been searched yet. And he literally looks at the security guard and goes, "Are you taking the piss?
Is this a pair of scissors?
He's fallen off a ride and is bleeding from the head, and you want me to stop and submit to a search? Here's a suggestion. Come with me and search once I make sure the patient isn't dead."
Oh, boy. Yeah.
But we have to search you. No. Right. So I got the radio and went, does anybody know where the paramedic is? Because I've seen the ambulance drive up, and like the head of security went, he's currently at the front desk being searched. And I literally went, all right. And I looked at my colleague and went, "Stay here." And the head of security went, "Where are you going?" I went, "Are you taking the fucking piss? Get me my paramedic. The person's bleeding out." And they're like, "But he needs to be..." And I'm like, "Look, put it this way. You can either get me the paramedic or you're going to need two paramedics." And he went, And they went, "Why?" I went, "Because I'm going to go and punch the idiot that just stopped my paramedic. Send them my way."
He's currently getting his medical shears taken off of him.
Yeah.
I need to show you security for knife checks outside football. This was hilarious. This is an old one.
Oh.
Has anyone seen this? Watch how thoroughly he's checking these people for weapons. He's definitely got nothing. He's definitely got nothing. Yeah.
Oh boy.
She's definitely got nothing. Yeah, he's definitely got nothing. Yeah.
That's like a Steven Seagal martial art video right there.
It is.
I think that's what we call the art of looking like you're doing something while doing precisely sweet FA.
I've had jobs like that.
That is at a football ground, Bob, in the UK, soccer ground in the UK. Tottenham Hotspur, before they play Bournemouth, which is both like London firms, so you expect violence and stuff like that. So they put extra security on, and that's what you get.
There you go. Wow.
Bloody surprise rift.
What was that?
Yeah.
He always used in training classes of how not to do things. Yeah, it's an old one. It's good. It's an old one, but it's a good one.
I'm not surprised. That's the art of looking like you're doing something while doing nothing.
Yeah, hiding crack and smacking babies' nappies.
Oh God, yeah. Unfortunately,
yeah. When you in the Philippines, before you go into a mall, there's two lines, one for male and one for female, and they give you a quick pat down, and it's not like that. They reach around your waist and they check your pockets, for males, and females they open up their bag and put a stick in there and make sure there's no guns or anything, and they over in the Philippines they've got armed guards are everywhere, and these guys are armed, and my brother-in-law was a guard. They go through 6 months of training, hand to hand, every type of firearm you can think of, and I wonder why they don't have any school shootings over there. Maybe because anybody who wants to F around and find out is gonna die, and they know it. That's the shootings over here happen in gun-free zones. It kind of makes a little sense to me. You have armed guards at all the schools, at all the theaters, at all the malls. Have them right out front. You F around, you're going to die. And they'll turn around and walk away. They'll go somewhere else.
But this is why milder weaponry in terrorism works in the UK because citizens can't respond. So you've got to
Yeah.
wait for the police, and you're waiting
Yeah.
on that police response time. I wouldn't like to try and go on a knife crime spree in somewhere in Texas with open carry laws. You wouldn't last 2 seconds.
No. That's right. Yeah. In fact, there's a lot of, if you search around YouTube, the news media shies away from showing American citizens fighting back. They don't publicize it. They don't say anything about it. But there's privately owned videos all over YouTube. Like one fellow was in the food court in a mall buying some food, and a wacko went in there with a handgun to hold up the cashier, and a guy over there, he just drew up and killed him, shot him dead on the spot. And that happens a lot here, but the news won't report on it.
Because it's promoting vigilantism. Is that what
Yeah,
they're saying?
and guns are bad. Guns are scary. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but
No, guns
Idiot.
are not bad. Guns are not scary
Mhm.
in the right hands.
Correct.
I've got several friends. Unfortunately, being disabled, I could never serve in the military, but I've got several military friends, and I've been out shooting with them. And people go, guns don't scare you, and I'm like, well, no, because in the hands of people that know what they're doing and practice common sense, they're not that common anymore.
Right.
They're not dangerous, are they? Like,
Yeah.
No.
In the same breath, I know this was going back to a live stream from Mike's a while back. Like, people go, oh, because one of my ex-girlfriends is actually from Texas, and she tried to get her gun license while she was living over here at university, and she's like, oh my God, they're asking if I've suffered with any form of mental health or anything. Back in Texas, I go and fill out a bit of paperwork. I wait however long, and they give me my gun. Here, I'm actually having to show I'm safe and sane to have a gun, and I'm like, well, isn't that how it should be? Like, we don't want people with
No, but they do. This is the illusion is that anyone can go to America, go into a Walmart and buy an automatic rifle or something like that.
yeah,
They
which you
have
can't,
gun
but-
laws. They have to be registered exactly the same. Lots of places where you go into a gun shop, they have a wait time.
Yes,
you
they
can go
do.
there and pay for
Yes.
it. You can't just walk away with it, though.
Right. When I was 18, bought my first rifle. It was show my Washington State driver's license. I'm 18. Okay, it was a bolt action 22 rifle. Here you go. But things have changed drastically since then. Like when my wife was buying some pistols, there's like a 7 or 10 day waiting period. You can buy it, they'll lock it up for you, put it in the safe, and it's got your name on it. And 7 to 10 days later, you go and pick it up. But you've also been background checked thoroughly by the county, the state, and by the federal government. So if you see videos saying in America you can just walk in and buy, that's pure bullshit. You can't do that anymore. No.
Yeah.
And when we bought a couple of Armalite rifles, that was like a 20-day waiting period, something like that. And go through the same background check.
Yeah, it's
Armalite.
It's funny because it's them stereotypes that I think Brian's doing a podcast shortly with the Doomsday Queen or Charmingly Frugal, whichever platform you follow on, to talk about this, like English versus US prepping, and not so much like who's better, but the stereotypes we have of each other. Because you'll speak to a lot of Americans that are like, oh yeah, well in England you can't even have knives, you can't even have this, you can't even have that. We can have, there's firearms, there's knives, there's stuff like that. It's just licensed and controlled. And then but you have this illusion the other way where we think you're all crazy gun-toting, everybody's armed, running around shooting at each other. It's the stereotypes, isn't it?
Right. And I've been to England several times, and I know you guys can have shotguns because I've rode the train around the countryside and see the farmers out there hunting pheasants. So when I hear other Americans, they can't own guns. Yes, they can, but they've got to go through some paperwork to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just shotguns, but like Section 1s can get you rifles. We do have pistols over here, although they have to be ridiculously long. It's
Something like
part of
over
the law.
25 inches, isn't it? I think the
I
barrel's got to be like over
can't remember the
25
exact
inches.
thing, but it's ridiculously
Yeah.
long sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's just them stereotypes between each other, which I find interesting.
I will say my stereotypes come from dating someone from Texas, so she was ever so slightly gun nuts.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's enthusiasm, right? It's people. I mean, if I moved anywhere over there, which I wanted to do, you would probably call me a gun nut because I'd be buying something every other week. Because
Yeah, and you're more than
I love it as the hobby, as the sport of the doing that and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to, as long as you pass all the background checks.
Yeah.
Have it. It's like my wife's a dual citizen. She's Filipino and American. And back in 2014, the first time Trump was running for election, the communists were going insane in the streets, assaulting people, burning. And one day my wife turned to me and she goes, "Can I buy a pistol? Can I buy a gun?" I said, "Yeah, you're a U.S. citizenship. You're a U.S. citizen, hon. Yeah. How many can I have? How many can you afford?
How many can you fit in your purse?"
Yeah, and there for a couple of years, she bought She bought several pistols, and I told her, "You're about to enter into a world that's kind of like knives. They're made for different situations.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of gun should I buy?" And I recommended to her, starting off, buy a 38 special revolver. No safe, none of the BS, none of, just something that would point and shoot. And that's what she started off. And that opened up a monster, man. That little woman just went out.
Now she's driving around in a tank.
Yeah, pretty much. It would actually help bond our family together, because at the same time, my son was buying guns, and I already had my own, and we'd go out every weekend at the target range, and we do it as a family for 2 years, every weekend. Go out there, and we all had our own pistols and shotguns, and we'd exchange them, so that everyone in the house learns how to operate every firearm in the house safely. And it bonded, and after we get done with that, then we go out and have lunch.
Yeah,
it really brought our family closer together. It was a good event.
Yeah,
I tell you what, in the age of drones, shotguns are starting to make a bit of a comeback.
They are, aren't they?
They're proven to be incredibly effective in Ukraine. I was
They
watching
are.
a thing about that the other day.
Mm.
Yeah, a good YouTube. You were talking about YouTube channels showing self-defense. I couldn't remember the one that I watch. I looked it up. It's called Active Self-Protection. They've got 3.4 million subscribers. So, it's pretty good. And it just shows nothing but CCTV footage of people defending themselves. And a lot of it is actually, this is what the media will always deny. But you can clearly see like a guy runs in, with a mask on, points a gun, and then like a citizen sitting at a table shoots him. And so he saved the life of that person.
Correct.
And they never point that out. And there's loads of it, security guards and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it happens. It happens, but you never hear about it. It's only privately owned videos, not on the news.
Isn't it sad that that's the case? Yet, like, Hollywood always portrays that kind of thing. Oh, he's the local hero and he's on all the news because he saved somebody by shooting them and stuff like that. And that's how they portray it on a movie or on a TV series. But then in real life, it's a media blackout on it.
Yeah, but in reality, they don't want to show it, and it's a shame, because a lot of those people, like, they did what they just, as my Texan ex used to say, they woke up and they did what they had to do. They did what
you had to do. Yeah.
They didn't necessarily want to do it, but no one wants to go out and shoot people, right?
Yeah.
Because she was I was actually born like with a disability from birth. So when we first went over there, she went, "You're going to a range, and I'm going to see if you can shoot." She went, because at the end of the day, hopefully you'll never have to pull the trigger, but if you do, you need to know how to do it properly.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Mike's back with us. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
I thought you were just leaving it to us for a while there.
yeah, I do you know the shortcut clicks on the mouse? I hit the back button and it decided I wanted to leave the studio, and I thought, oh crap, has that ended the live?
No, I was going to say, I have specifically disabled those buttons on my mouse for that reason, because the amount of times I grabbed my mouse and pushed the wrong button. Been there. But yeah, no, because we were discussing like me carrying stuff on my back in the last live stream, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I'll be honest, I was born with very mild cerebral palsy, so I only walk on 1 1/3 legs. Hence the reason I said if I had to bug out, it's not the easiest thing. But yeah.
Ladies, when he says third leg, he doesn't mean that. Behave.
Certainly no, I don't. I wish you did. I don't. Well, yeah, 1 1/3 legs. But yeah. Oh, God. Shop smart. Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah.
Just come back from the pub at UKPN talking about reach arounds.
I'd like to show you guys something. Okay, you guys, like, you know, you bushcraft guys, survivalists and all, instead of take your axe with your hatchet or whatever you want, but go and get a pair of these for cutting your kindling or clearing a path.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it makes no noise at all. No sound. Just trust me. Bring a pair of these with you when you're setting up a shelter or you're building a fire. Clip. I mean, there's no swinging. There's nothing. Just try it. Try it.
Can I tell you, I've got some of them for another reason as well, Bob. So some of them are in my kitchen drawer, and I use them for separating chicken wings and bones.
There you go.
Go through bones like chicken bones so easily, and it's better than messing with a knife. I can literally get a chicken wing, go snip, snip, next, snip, snip, next. It's superb.
Yeah, I've got. They make holsters. You can put these things in, or you can put it on your belt if you want to. But or even larger lopping shears. I quit carrying a saw, and I quit carrying an axe. I went, forget it. I'll just get bigger lopping shears, pop, and I've got firewood built up in an instant. You know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any noise. Nobody even knows you're there. You're cutting firewood. Nobody has a clue you're around because you don't hear an axe cracking against a tree. Try it. Try it out, guys.
It's a great survival tool having something like that.
Yeah, and it's the age old work smarter, not harder, right?
Bingo. Yep. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And if you buy certain garden tools, such as strimmers or as Bob would know them, weed whackers, from places like Amazon, they normally throw in at least one pair.
Oh,
yeah. I got a pair free with mine, and I like it in my survival box for that reason.
I had some custom sewing done on some H harnesses and a backpack added to an H harness. You know, I had some custom sewing done. In a small backpack, it's on my channel. I put some dried fruit, some water. It's not really a bug out setup. It's if there's flood or fire and the missus and I have to get out of here, we can put those H harnesses on, buckle them there, buckle it here. Already built onto it, it's got a camouflage net and some food. And in with each one of those, I threw in a pair of these, so that if we got to get to a place and hide, we can just sit down in some brush, snip a few tree branches off, put it in, weave it into the camouflage netting, and disappear, and sit down, and shut up, and don't move. You know. I've got. Let me carry with the mic for a few minutes here, but bugging out like that for me, I've selected some commercial property within easy walking distance. The wife and I can put those kits on, throw a jacket over it, walk to where we need to be. Commercial property, not private property. Go into a bank of hedges, throw the netting on, snip, put the netting on, and sit down, shut up. And people will walk right past us. They don't even know we're there. You know. something like that you might want to look into, guys. Sit
Yeah.
down and shut up. Mhm.
Yeah, nice thing to practice as well.
Yeah.
Especially when there's plenty of people around and stuff.
But if you can get the wife to sit down and shut up, that's a different,
Yeah, that's the challenge. That's the challenge. Don't get them to not talk. That is definitely the challenge there.
Not
Anthea
easy.
said, here in Scotland, to own a 50 cal BMG anti-material rifle under FAC, it's easier to own under FAC than a pellet sub 12-foot air rifle with the Scottish airgun license. Yeah, that's the license they bring in. Though there's one, you'll laugh at this, Bob. So they brought in this thing. I used to do airsoft, which is like BBs
Yeah.
and stuff, but like military proper. We did proper military simulation one, and brought in this law. You had to have a UCARA license, right? Which was basically you had to join a site, you had to go there so many times, they had to sign off on you, pretty much like a firearms license. This is so you can have a RIF, a replica imitation firearm. You can still have one, but it's bright pink. But if you want it black and to look like a real gun, you had to get this license. And you had to go through all these loops. Bear in mind, at the same time in this country, if you're over 18, you can walk into a shop and buy a semi-automatic crossbow and the ammunition and walk out the same day.
Oh.
But you've got to have a license for a BB gun, Bob. A BB gun.
Because it's a gun.
Because it's a gun.
I'm assuming that the site followed the rules.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I say that because literally I went airsofting with a friend for the first time, and I walked up there and I was looking at a replica MP5 that was like black, and I said to him, well, what do I actually need to buy one that isn't, two-tone, that isn't like, bright blue? And they went, you're here airsofting, aren't you? And I'm like, yes. And
because, the shop owners... The shop owners know it's fucking ridiculous. That's why. If you don't look like a cop, they'll sell it you.
Yeah. No, here we go. Yeah. But yeah, he's like, it's like, show me the colour of your money. And I'm like, fair enough.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to have you car? And they're like, screw you, car.
Here in the States, there's a lot of paranoia about the government's going to come and do this. The government's going to come and do that. What you gentlemen were just talking about, the ridiculous end of the government. I'm not afraid of the government at all. I'm not, it's like somebody told me, the government will come and take your food stores away. The government is incompetent, guys. They can't even get anything straight and stay on a narrow path. They're just scatterbrained all over the place. I'm not afraid of my government. I'm not.
You do. I mean, you've got legislation, Bill of Rights in place that protects you against a tyrannous government.
Yeah.
We have legislation in place and changing every day that puts us under a tyrannous government.
Yeah.
So
Sadly,
this is the problem.
Sadly, it is going that way.
This is the problem. If somebody came into a political party and said that they would pretty much implement something like the Bill of Rights in the UK, it wouldn't have to be exactly the same and the same laws and stuff like that, but just the rights to free speech. Starmer constantly says when Trump's there, we've got a proud history of free speech in England and it's something we want to protect. He never says we have the rights, because we don't. We have the right to freedom of expression.
We haven't had it for years.
We have the right to freedom of expression as long as it doesn't offend somebody, say this, incite violence, etc., etc. There's no free. It's not free speech.
Yes.
There's not a law for free speech in this country. So Starmer, look at the interviews with Trump, the press conferences with Trump, when somebody's, usually GB News, because they like to stir the pot, mentions something about free speech, he'll always say, we have a proud history of free speech, and does never mentions that we have the right.
Have a proud history of free speech.
Not only that,
history. Yeah.
it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about governments will take a little piece of your freedom away, but they will never give it back to you. So over in the United States, Bob, I mean, how long has there been a government established in the United States? It's been, few hundred years or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So
Couple hundred years. Yeah.
Let's say 300 years. Okay, that's a
Uh-huh.
very, very young country. I mean, Parliament in the United Kingdom has existed for 850 years. So imagine what the United States will look like after another 600 years of regulation of slowly but surely taking a little bit of your rights away. Eventually, you get to a point we're at.
Yeah, what happens? Okay, like recently, Washington State they outlawed 30-round magazines for armor lights or whatever. But it's a lawyer game. They'll outlaw it. You can't have them. Da da da. Look, my blue hair constituents voted this in. But within a year, out comes a petition in front of all the supermarkets. Bring back the 30-round magazines, and we all sign it. Then it goes through the courts, and they throw out the last thing that the blue hairs put into place, and it goes right back to the way it was before. It does.
Yeah.
And that's where I get involved, is I sign petitions like that. The last couple of petitions that I signed was to get rid of men in women's sports, stop that, and make sure that the schools can inform the parents if the child is being fed hormone treatment at school. I signed both of those, and that goes. It's a lawyer game, man. It might sound great to the leftists. We won this victory, and 2 years later, it's right back to where it was before.
You mean to tell me, Bob, that you're not in favour of men battering the crap out of women in boxing and children having them being mutilated? You bloody fascist.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. Well, there's a running joke on my panels is that the only self-defense I have is I got all my man junk cut off in Thailand so I can fit in with the radicals and they won't hurt me. I'm now a transgender. No, I am not a favor of hurting women and children, dude. No. We don't do that.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. Imagine living in a time where we have to say that.
No.
And by saying that, there are actually people right now shouting at the screen saying, "You bloody Nazi!" You know what I mean? It's like,
probably
unbelievable.
Yeah, I want to burn down his house. Okay, bring it.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah. You shouldn't have to say you don't hurt women and children, but thirdly, yes, he's right.
That's a side of history you have to pick to be on nowadays.
You do, and unfortunately, Mark Adventures, if the recent reports on the old digital ID are to be believed, partitions in the UK are ignored because apparently the government threw out the petition against the digital ID. I think we've got.
Listen, the people are under the illusion that if 3 million people sign a petition in this country, they go on the government petition site, that something has to be done. No, you've got the only benchmark is if it hits 100,000, they have to discuss it. Discussing it could be there's a petition. Nah, there you go. We discussed it.
Pretty much what happened, wasn't it?
That's exactly what you do.
Yeah, the illusion of. But I mean, there's
people want us to do this.
There's good cause as well. You couldn't instantly implement it with the thingy because I mean, look at the referendum for the Brexit. No matter which side won Brexit, the other side was going to start a petition and millions of people were going to sign it because it was almost a 50-50 vote. So you understand why they don't have to act on stuff like that, but it just proves that they don't listen to the population in general. So
I don't think any of them have listened to us since Thatcher was in power. And there's a name I didn't like to bring up.
It's because to politicians we're just an inconvenience. This is the thing. They're not on our side.
Yeah,
we're like cattle to politicians, career politicians.
Unfortunately, you're right.
They're there for a reason. They're there because they want power, money, legacy, and a self of control. Yeah. We're just a bloody inconvenience that they have to pander to now and again in order to get through the hurdle of democracy.
We're just a source of income.
You're right.
Yeah.
Death and taxes, the only thing guaranteed in life,
Yep.
gentlemen. Death and
Uh-huh.
taxes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to call this, gentleman, because I'm
Yep.
yawning and
Right.
I could feel
Okay.
my eyes stinging. So it's 1:45 in the morning here. So I appreciate you all joining me. Thank you. It's been a good panel. It's been definitely a varied discussion from
Oh, hasn't it just? But yeah.
from boots on the ground to Bob's presidential campaign to
Right here,
prepping and a
President
bit.
Bob.
I'd vote for you, man. I'd vote for
I'd
you
vote
straight
Bob.
away.
Everyone quickly put vote Bob in the chats if you would vote for Bob before we leave. Everyone
Oh,
say
yeah.
vote Bob.
God.
Oh, so, he can't do a worse job than the one that's in there.
Mhm.
No, I'm looking forward to that chorus of them girls doing the
Oh, the tie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell
Oh,
yeah. Little nurses uniforms, little sexy tie chicks. Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
I'm on it, man.
Vote
Yeah.
Bob. Vote Bob. There you go. We're gonna
Vote
start a thing. Vote
Thank you,
Ob.
guys.
You missed a B. That's going to be next hashtag trending. Vote Bob. Right. Cheers, everyone. Much appreciated. Thank you for
Peace
all
out.
being here. And I'm going straight to bed. So no
Yeah,
green
I think
room
I'll
tonight,
run
I'm
away.
afraid, fellas.
Yeah.
But yeah. Good night. Good bless. And I will see you all in another one really soon.
See you all later.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.